And good evening, March 23rd, 2026, 9:23 p.m. on the East Coast. We're back to 1971 in Action PC Baseball. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in yesterday when we had Paul Fay on live and going through Baseball HQ and Pocket Pennant Run and all that kind of stuff. A deep dive, especially into Baseball HQ. There's going to be Paul's going to be putting out a thing in the next Baseball HQ that you guys won't even have to worry about. Hey there, John DFW says howdy, brothers, and back to you, brother. You guys won't even have to create directories. The directory structure will already be set for you. So Baseball HQ is really, really an amazing thing. So there we go. So we're back to 1971 here in our continuing quest to get through this season. We were going to do legacy mode, but from what I understand, the schedule is a bit squiffy. So when you use legacy mode, so that's a little bit unfortunate. So we'll see what happens with that when we get to 1971. But until then, this has been a great time. Really, really has been. And so let's see what we got on tap. I know that we had just looking around here. It's been a while. I believe yes. So tonight's game. This is going to be in the American League West as the Chicago White Sox just a half game behind the Oakland Athletics. Oakland at 61-48 and Chicago at 61-49. Bradley versus Odom in this game. Samuel Smith, happy Monday. He says he lives by the Mets. They play Pittsburgh on Thursday. Yeah, it's going to be ready to go, ready to rock this new season. So we also have the Mets and Braves both in contention. The Mets are 3 games behind the Pittsburgh Pirates in the National League East, and the Braves holding a 5.5 game lead over the Giants in the West. So I think we're going to do this Oakland-Chicago game just because of the half game margin, and then we'll see where we are if we accidentally do a doubleheader and what have you. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and auto-play some games right now. So first up here will be the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. So Reynolds versus Ellis in this one. Doc Ellis comes into this game at 14-7 and a 2.78 earned run average. And here we go. And the Pirates blank the Phillies 5-0. So Ellis goes to 15-7 and goes 2 for 2. So let's look at the box score here. And he did it with a 5-hit shutout. So Doc Ellis, not only the winning pitcher, but goes 2 for 2 in the day on the day. No home runs by either team in this game. So there we go. So the Mets will be watching this one closely. Next one, Detroit versus Boston. Detroit with the best record in baseball. And good evening to you, brother Jack Dawson. And I hope you are doing well, buddy. So apparently there's a pitch count issue in out of the park baseball. Too many foul balls or something. So I haven't started anything in 27. So I don't. I haven't noticed that actually, and I have been playing 27. So I wonder if there's. Yeah, we'll let them work it out. Again, they're always patching. The game. They keep up with that. So I totally understand that. I think it's fun to just jump into it and, yeah, maybe not start a serious project, but just give it a little bit of love. So, but I hadn't heard anything about that, John. But then again, I haven't been on the boards to see anything. So I'm surprised. There's more and more game companies, game publishers aren't going to Discord. It was on the forums, and Dev said they're looking into it. All right, cool. Yeah, Discord kind of spoils you. Forums are like all over the place these days. It used to be forums were the thing, but yeah, definitely check that out. And they're usually pretty good with, pretty quick with addressing issues. So, John, thank you for that information. Really, really appreciate it. I guess I'll hold off on doing anything serious in Out of the Park Baseball. I'm still going to play it, obviously. And I still have Out of the Park 26 installed. And 25, actually, because I'm still moving some things forward from Mike Garland's like classic seasons or classic decades or what have you. Tigers in Boston. Boston is pretty much, they're pretty much done for the season. They're 26.5 out. So we're just going to autoplay this game and see if Boston can kind of help the New York Yankees a little bit, who are 4 games back. Coleman versus Cope. I'm sorry, Culp. Coleman and Culp. Glad I'm not calling that one. And Boston prevails over Detroit 3-2. Bolin with the win, Sherman with the loss. Willie Horton in a losing cause goes 3 for 4 with a triple. San Francisco Giants versus the St. Louis Cardinals. San Francisco has been making a late season push here now as we are in the first week of August of 1971. 5.5 back of the Braves. And St. Louis, 15 games out. So here we go. Pirates be watching this one. And San Francisco Giants defeat the St. Louis Cardinals 7-6. Cumberland with the win, Zachary with the loss. Ted Simmons, 2 for 4, hit his 5th home run and had 2 runs batted in. All right, we got up next here Minnesota and California. California just barely in it. They are 6 games out, 1 game above 500. Perry versus Messersmith, and 3-2 Minnesota. So California falls to 500. Haydel with the win, Allen with the loss, and Luber with the save. So 3-2 game there. New York and Atlanta will save. Next, Cleveland Indians, Washington Senators, both way out of it. So just a little incidental score. Sorry about the click there. Sometimes my mouse does that. So the Senators defeat the Indians 4-1. Gogolewski with the win, Hargan with the loss. Unser 2 for 4 with a triple. San Diego and Houston. So Houston kind of sort of in the race, but they're really 11 games out. Again, just a game above 500. San Diego looking to play spoiler here for them. And the Astros defeat the San Diego Padres 5-0. Blasting game with a win. Roberts with a loss. Doug Rader goes 3 for 4. Game we'll be doing tonight, at least one of them, will be the White Sox versus the A's. So we'll be coming back to that. Next one, Montreal Expos, Cincinnati Reds. Both of these teams out of it, pretty much. Cincinnati wins this one 6-1. Gullett goes to 10-7. Renko falls to 6-14. And May goes 3 for 5 and hits his 34th home run. The other game that we're going to hold on to is the Yankees and the Orioles. So Yankees and Orioles both in contention. Baltimore 6.5 out, and the Yankees 3.5 out. Lastly, for games that we're going to autoplay on 6th of August, 1871, the Kansas City Royals host the Milwaukee Brewers. Lockwood versus Splittorff. And here we go. And Kansas City bests Milwaukee in 13 innings, 3-2. Jim Rooker with the win, Weaver with the loss. Amos Otis goes 4 for 6, hits his 10th home run, so 13 innings affair. Now we are on our way out to the Oakland Coliseum, and again, this is going to be Oakland hosting the White Sox, and the White Sox right now just a half game out in second place behind Oakland. So let's do it. And thanks for coming in, guys. Welcome into the Oakland Coliseum. The White Sox against the Athletics. Tom Brady taking the start here for the White Sox. 26 starts in a year for Tom Bradley. And he has 11 wins, 4 losses, ERA of 3.23. This would be a second start against the Athletics. And against them, he's 1-0 with a 1.00 earned run average. And Blue Moon Odom takes the hill for Oakland. 15 starts in a year, 5 wins, 7 losses, with an ERA of 5.17. This will be his second start against Chicago. No decision. So here we go. It's 61 degrees here and sunny in Oakland.
Play ball!
All right. So I do hope everyone is doing well tonight. All right, so let's look at the starting defense for the hometown Oakland Athletics, first placed in the American League West. Angel Manguel is in left field. We'll just call him Angel for the rest of the night now. In center field, Rick Monday, and in right, Reggie Jackson. Mike Epstein at first, Dick Green at second, Bert Campaneris at short, Sal Bando at third, Gene Tennis behind the plate, and Blue Moon Odom on the mound. Leading things off here, Luis Alvarado for the Chicago White Sox. It'll be Alvarado, Kelly, and Reichert. Melton, Herman, Andrews, Johnstone, Hunts, and Bradley. Luis Alvarado hitting 225 on the year, 36 runs batted in, and we're ready to go. 2-0 pitch, bouncer to Campaneris, gloves it, fires to Epstein for the 6-3 putout. And do we have an injury on the play? We do, but Alvarado's going to stay in the game. Looks like he just turned an ankle a little bit coming out of the box. All right, one away here for Chicago in the first. It brings up Pat Kelly, Chicago right fielder, hitting 259 with 26 RBI, 4 home runs. Odom wheels and deals. 0-2 pitch, tapper back to the mound. Odom fields it off the slab on to Mike Epstein for the 1-3 putout. It's 2 up, 2 down here, and brings up Rick Reichert. Reichert hitting 285. He's put 19 out of the park, and 66 runs batted in. Odom into the wind in the 2-0 pitch, and this one hit deep to center field. Monday leaps and makes the grab, robbing the home run. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the first. The White Sox nothing, and the Oakland Athletics coming to bat in this battle in the American League West. And left field for the Chicago White Sox, Rick Reichert. In center, Jay Johnstone, and in right, Pat Kelly. At first base, Mike Andrews. At second, Luis Alvarado. At short, Steve Hunts. At third, Bill Melton. Ed Herman behind the plate. Bill Bradley now will face Bert Campaneris to lead off. Campaneris hitting 258, has 2 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Bradley fires it home. Campaneris, first pitch swinging, line drive past short into left for a base hit. Campaneris aboard, excellent speed. 23 steals thus far in the season. And here's center fielder Rick Monday. Rick Monday hitting at a 224 clip right now, with 13 home runs and 46 runs batted in. Campaneris has a good lead off first. Bradley with a check of the runner. Peers home. Nope. Throws over. And Campaneris back. Bradley ready to work again. 3-1 pitch. And this one will get down to right field for a base hit. Pat Kelly played it on the bounce. We're going to hold Campaneris at second. 2-1. Nobody out for Reggie Jackson. 291 average for Jackson, 25 home runs, 73 runs batted in for him. Bradley kicks and fires, 0-1 pitch, tapper out in front of the mound. Jackson back in the box, 0-2 pitch, and this one is going to be lined into right, base hit, and they're going to stop Campaneris at third, loading him up. Pat Kelly out there in right field with a good arm for the Chicago White Sox. Brings up Mike Epstein. Epstein, 237, 14 home runs, 42 runs batted in. Nowhere to put him. Tom Bradley in a little pickle right here. Nobody out. And 2-2 pitch. This one sent out to right field. Kelly in, Alvarado out. Kelly will make the grab. And not enough for Campaneris to tag and score. So 1 away. Tom Bradley now to face Sal Bando. Sal Bando's been knocking the horsehide around a little bit in this year. 269 average, 22 home runs, 70 runs batted in. Tonight's game, by the way, brought to you about Olipop soda, and I'll tell you about that a little later. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. All right, Bradley deals 2-0 pitch from the stretch and popped to short. And nice play out there by Steve Hunts. So 2 down, and Bradley just a batter away from getting out of a real mess here in the bottom of the first. Here's Angel Manqual, and he's hitting 338, 2 homers, and 16 runs batted in for him. Bradley from the stretch, and the 1-2 pitch, grounder to Steve Hunts over to Andrews, and he does it. So the Chicago White Sox get out of a bases-loaded situation. Oakland does not capitalize. We go to the top of the second. No score here at Oakland Coliseum. All right, Melton, Herman, and Andrews due up for the Pale Hose. Bill Melton hitting 267. He has 23 home runs, 98 runs batted in. Beautiful day here in Oakland. 1-2 pitch, and this one a changeup called strike 3. Odom picks up the K, and here's the catcher Ed Herman hitting just 178. He does have 7 home runs, 33 runs batted in. Odom has the sign from Gene Tennis. 3-1 pitch. This one skied to center Monday at the track. makes the grab. 2 up, 2 down for the first baseman, Mike Andrews. He's hitting .293. He's put 10 over the fence with 51 batted in. Odom, 1-1 pitch. Hard ground ball. Sal Bando ranging to his left. And the strong throw to Mike Epstein. And they go 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. Again, Chicago 61-49. Oakland 61-48. A half game separate these two teams. Gene Tennis lead things off here. Tennis, Green, and Odom. Tennis hitting .358, 4 homers, 17 RBI. And Bradley deals 0-1 pitch. Bouncer Alvarado to his right. Up with it and over to Andrews for out number 1. Here's Dick Green now. .230 for him, 6 homers, 32 runs batted in. Blue Moon Odom waits on deck. Bradley brings it home, full count. Great diving stop by Huntz at short. And fires a BB onto first. 6-3 putout. First great play of the year for Steve Huntz at short for the Chicago White Sox. And here's Blue Moon Odom hitting .067. He did manage to bat in a run. And on an 0-2 pitch, he goes down swinging. So another unremarkable inning goes by the board. We go to the top of the third. We have no score. All right, Jay Johnstone leading things off here. .267 average, 15 home runs, 57 runs batted in. So if he was representing Hines right now, maybe he'd get a little bonus. Odom deals, 0-2 pitch. Johnstone bounces this one to Epstein, who waves off Odom and takes it to the bag himself. 1 up, 1 down for the shortstop Steve Huntz, hit .333. A home run and 5 runs batted in. And does he like Oli Pop Soda? If they would have had it in 1971, he definitely would have. 1-1 pitch. Grounder up to first. Epstein feeds onto Odom covering for the 3-1 putouts. 2 up, 2 down now as we swing around to the top of the order here. Or I'm sorry, we don't swing around to the top of the order. We're at the bottom of the order for Chicago. It's Tom Bradley. .259 average for the Chicago pitcher. 3 home runs and 5 runs batted in. So overperforming. 0-2 pitch, and not this time. Swing and a miss on a fastball, and that does it for the Chicago White Sox. We are still scoreless as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Bert Campaneris leading off, single to left to start the inning for Oakland. Oakland, big story thus far in the early part of this game. Oakland leaving the bases loaded, or if you're a White Sox fan, not allowing Oakland to capitalize on the bases loaded situation. Bradley deals 0-1 pitch, lofted to left, and Reichert has a beat on it and has it in his glove. 1 away. Rick Monday singled back in the first. 1-1 pitch, tapper up the line at first. Andrews takes that one, 3 unassisted. 2 up, 2 down for Reggie Jackson, 1 for 1. Bradley deals, and Reggie Jackson ripping a miss on a fastball. 1-2-3 goes Oakland, and we go to the top of the fourth inning, and we have no score here. So unexpected, if you will, unexpected pitchers duel happening here. Back at the top of the order now for the White Sox, Luis Alvarado grounded out to Campaneris in the first inning. Odom has a sign from Gene Tennis. He winds. 0-2 pitch, hard ground ball to Sal Bando. Backs up 4 steps, grabs it, and fires a strike to Epstein for the out. So 1 away for Pat Kelly. He tapped one back to Blue Moon Odom last time up. 0-2 pitch. And this one is giving it a ride to right. Reggie Jackson ranges back at the edge of the track, makes the grab. 2 White Sox up, 2 White Sox down. Here's Rick Reichert. Gave it a ride to very deep right center last time. But Monday making that great catch, robbing Rick Reichert of a home run. 1-2 pitch, and Reichert looks at one in at the knees, and there we go again. So 1-2-3 go to the White Sox. Bottom of the fourth. No score. All right, it's going to be Epstein, Bando, and Mancual due up for the Oakland A's. Mike Epstein flew out to shallow right last time up. All right, Herman sets the target for Bradley. Full count, and Epstein ripping a miss. Strike 3. So Tom Bradley now has set down 3 batters on strikes and brings up Sal Bando. Bando popped out to Steve Hunt's there at short last time. 1-2 pitch. This one grounded to second. Alvarado gets the snap throw to Andrews for the 4-3 putout. 2 up, 2 down, and here's Angel Mangual. He grounded to short back in the first. Here's the pitch. And on a 2-0 pitch, this one skied to right. Pat Kelly racing to his right makes the grab. 1-2-3 go the Athletics. Top of the 5th. No score. So these two teams separated by a half game in the standings in the American League West. And we have us a bona fide, as they might say, pitcher's duel. All right, here's Bill Melton. So 4-5-6 due up for the Chicago Southsiders. Melton, Herman, Andrews. Bill Melton struck out back in the 2nd inning. All right, Odom wheels and deals, and 2-2 pitch. Bando to Epstein. 5-3 putout. 1 up, 1 down. Both defenses playing some excellent baseball today. Odom has also set down 3 batters on strikes in the game. All right, Ed Herman now. White Sox catcher flew out to deep left last time. Odom deals 1-1 pitch. This one out to deep center field. Monday back at the wall, against the wall, and makes the catch. Both of these teams knowing what's at stake here as we are in the first week of August. Here's Mike Andrews now batting with 2 away. Chicago first baseman grounded to third his last time up. Settles in the box. And Odom has the signs from Gene Tennis. Gene Tennis setting up just a little bit outside. 1-2 pitch. This one grounded to short. Campaneris ranging to his left on to Mike Epstein. And you just saw what came up there on the screen, and that's all we're going to say. All right, bottom of the 5th we go. Chicago goes in order. And Gene Tennis leading it off. Gene Tennis riding an 8-game hitting streak right now. Steps in the box. Bradley deals 3-1 pitch, and there we go. So Oakland picks up a base runner on the walk. All right, here's Dick Green hitting .230. He grounded to Steve Hunt's last time. Bradley looking to turn 2. 0-1 pitch. This one fly ball deep to left field. Jay Johnstone makes the catch. Bill Bradley, a doff of the cap out there to his center fielder. All right, so 1 away. Gene Tennis gets back to first. Blue Moon Odom in there, and they're looking bunt. Andrews in at first. Melton in at third. Bradley deals, and swing and a miss. So Blue Moon Odom was swinging away. So that is out number 2 and the 4th strikeout for Tom Bradley. I keep calling him Bill Bradley. Mea culpa. Back at the top of the order, Bert Campaneris. 1 for 2 in the game. Last time out, flew out to shallow left. Bradley deals. Throw down. Andrews has it and doubled off. So they get the runner. Let's look at it again. So this one inside, and Gene Tennis caught napping at first. We head to the visitors' half of the 6th inning, and we are scoreless. Jay Johnstone grounded to first last time up. Odom deals 1-0 pitch, fly ball center field. Monday back to his right, makes the grab. So 1 away here. Brings up Steve Hunt. Hunt's batting lefty against Blue Moon Odom. Grounded to first, back into third. Odom kicks and fires. 0-2 pitch. Grounder to Epstein. Takes it to the bag himself. 2 up, 2 down. And here's Tom Bradley. 0-2 pitch. And this one skied foul on the left-hand side. This will make the seats. 0-2 up the middle. Base hit. And that breaks up the perfect game and the no-hitter all in one go here in the 6th. All right, Bradley aboard, first base hit for the Chicago White Sox. Back at the top of the order for Luis Alvarado. Hasn't gotten the ball out of the infield. 0 for 2. And 0-2 pitch, and all of a sudden, here come the White Sox. And Jackson had to play the short hop. Bradley thought he had to go back to third, or back to first. Makes to second and tags and gets into third. So 2 down. Crazy little play on there. A little hesitation by Bradley. Thought Jackson had caught the ball. So runners at the corners now for Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly last time up flew out to deep right field. White Sox having a chance to get Tally right here. So Blue Moon Odom had a perfect game going into the 6th inning. Gene Tennis out to have a quick word. Odom from the stretch, 1-0 pitch on the way, and base hit right field. Bradley will score on the Pat Kelly RBI single, and the Chicago White Sox now with a 1-0 lead. Was so hoping for a perfect game. Never had one of those. We had one in the McGreevy League, but it came up as one that wasn't one that we didn't watch. All right, Rick Reichard struck out last time and almost hit a home run first time up. Alvarado at third, Kelly at first, 2 down, 1-0 White Sox lead. Odom from the stretch, 1-2 pitch, grounder to Sal Bando. Bando will go across the diamond. Epstein with the stretch and the snag. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. Bottom of the 6th, Chicago White Sox 1, Oakland Athletics nothing here. Again, we are August 6th, 1971. Back at the top of the order for the White Elephants and Bert Campaneris. Campaneris is singled and flown out. Bradley deals. Campaneris is going to get himself a base hit to right. Kelly up with it. Campaneris will hold first. Rick Monday is 1 for 2. The pitch to Monday, 2-0 pitch, gets down and in the corner for a base hit, extra bases for Monday. And Campaneris with speed will come around and score. Rick Monday going for 3. The tag by Melton and safe. RBI triple for Rick Monday. That's his 5th of the season. And the Chicago White Sox lead is short-lived as the A's tie it up in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hell of a ball game we got going on here. Here's Reggie Jackson batting with nobody out. Reggie 1 for 2, struck out last time up. Bradley from the stretch, and 3-2 pitch. This one is high. Is it deep enough? Kelly at the track makes the catch, but Rick Monday will tag and trot home easily for the 2nd Oakland run. 2-1 Athletics, 1 down, bases empty for Mike Epstein. So if you watched RGL Network, Rabbit Wolverine, how you doing, man? It's great to see you. Great to see you, my friend, and I did answer you in Discord. And I'll answer it here again. I've never played season ticket baseball, but I've heard great things about it. And once I can get some footprint real estate, that might be a cards and dice game I will get into definitely. All right. So we went from a perfect game to now it's 2-1 between these two battling for the American League West title. Still a ways to go, 2 months to go in the season yet. All right, Mike Epstein, 0 for 2. Batting with 1 down, struck out his last time up. Both pitchers putting on a strong performance today. Bradley deals. Epstein, bouncer deep to second, and Alvarado to Andrews for the 4-3 putout. So you just printed off the 1919 season ticket. Enjoy it, man. It's that White Sox team is a lot of fun, and that 1919 White Sox team is second only to the 1917 White Sox, and that they're fun. You're gonna have a lot of fun playing that season. So good luck. Please keep us updated. As it goes along. Let us know what's going on, both in the Discord and here, if you feel so inclined. And play ball 1919. How you doing, Philip? It's good to see you tonight. Hope you're well. I saw you in Dwayne's Red, White, and Blue Racing broadcast earlier today. Watching that game, I don't know. And Philip says, "Go White Sox." I don't know how Dwayne. I was watching the game, and that looks like there's a lot to keep up on. But Dwayne playing it like a Stradivarius. All right, Sal Bando batting with 2 down, bases empty. 2-1 Oakland lead right now. Bradley brings it home. 0-2 pitch. Hard ground ball. But Steve Hunt's up with it, stays with it, and fires onto first for the final out. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. We've played 6 here in Oakland. And the Oakland A's lead 2-1. So, even though they don't know it, let me tell you about a really good sody pop here. Where'd I put it? Hang on a second here. I like to do unofficial sponsors because, let's face it, they're not going to know what's going on. Anyhow, this is Olipop soda, so it's a new kind of. There's a couple companies doing this, including some of the larger soft drink companies now. This stuff is really good. You're not going to find it normally where you find regular sort of sodas, but this stuff is really good. So it's made with real fruit juice. It's nice and fizzy. And here's the really good news. It doesn't even taste. It's not meant to be a diet thing. Just a healthy alternative to soda. It's probiotic. And it only has 50 calories, man. I mean, not that I need to worry about calories, but it's really good, really healthy, and just proves that you don't need a lot of sugar. Just good old fructose, the way God made it. That's the only sugar in it. So there's Olipop. There's another brand called Evolution, and even bigger soft drink companies now like Slice are doing these probiotic sodas. So there you go. Nope, not the Red Sox. This would be the Chicago White Sox, half game out of first right now. So in year 19, Philip says it's 1980 replay. The Phillies are 19 wins, 15 losses. All right, there we go. Representing the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. All right, top of the seventh here, Melton, Herman, and Andrews drew up. Bill Melton, 0 for 2, grounded out his last time up. Tennis sets the target. Odom deals 0-1 pitch. And Melton sends this out to right field. Jackson back at the track. Leaps. And this one twisting foul. All right, so Bill Melton gets another look at Blue Moon Odom. 0-2 pitch. Hard grounder deep to short. Campaneris backs up. Fires a strike to Mike Epstein. Score at 6-3. One down for Ed Herman. He's 0 for 2. No relation to the actor Ed Herman. Doesn't even look like him. 0-2 pitch. Base hit right field. Reggie Jackson, the ball gets past Reggie Jackson and bounces off that little scoreboard out there in right. And Ed Herman picking up his 6th double of the year. So the White Sox with a tying run now in scoring position for Mike Andrews. Andrews today is grounded to third and to short. Again, going into the 6th inning, Blue Moon Odom had a perfect game going. So this is 19 of 15, yep, after 34 games. And 19 and 15 is where they were in real life. So excellent. Philip, do please remind me, what game are you playing? Are you doing your 1980 Phillies replay in? I know you play a lot of History Maker Baseball Express, but just curious what game, or I guess we're calling them engines these days. What engine you're playing that in, Philip? Love it when people keep the community up to date, the family up to date with what they're doing. And thank you guys for choosing to spend some of your precious time with me tonight. So History Maker Baseball Express. All right, awesome, Philip. Subscribe to Philip's channel, guys, please. Philip, you have a hammer in here, I believe, or a shield, or whatever they look like now. If you want to put a link to your channel so people can subscribe, please feel free. Pretty sure you have a shield here. All right, here's the pitch to Mike Andrews. Count full, and Blue Moon Odom loses him. All right, potential go-ahead run now is aboard. And here's Jay Johnstone, 0 for 2. And here is the pitch. Johnstone gives this a deep ride to center field. Rick Monday at the wall. Second time today that he's been robbed of one. All right, so 2 down. And here is Steve Huntz now trying to get it done here for the Pale Hose. And he's grounded to first twice in this game. So Mike Epstein already looking for that third ground ball to first. Will it happen? 1-0 pitch. Nope. Grounder to Green. Green to Epstein. And the White Sox threaten but do not score. 7th inning stretch time here. 2-1. Oakland over the White Sox. All right, and we are back. Bottom of the seventh, 2-1. Oakland leading the Chicago White Sox. And Angel Mangual will lead things off. G Tennis waits on deck. Dick Green in the hole. Mangual nothing for two today. Flew out to deep right center last time up. Tom Bradley thus far 4 strikeouts and a walk. He's worked 6 innings. And here's the pitch. Hard ground ball. Steve Hunts. It just bounces off the webbing, up and down into the dirt. By the time he finds the ball, and so Davis aboard. So they sneaked in Tommy Davis on me when I wasn't looking. There we go, guys. Please click on, or please go. I think the way YouTube work now, you got to just copy, go to that site, and subscribe to Philip Reynolds' channel, please. All right, G Tennis riding an 8-game hitting streak, looking to extend it and get Tommy Davis in. So let's look at Davis's numbers since they sneaked him in on me. So Action PC is very quick. I don't have it set up to alert me when a pinch hitter is coming in, so I should do that probably. So Tommy with 6 steals in the season, stole 7 in the actual 1971. He's on pace all the way. All right, clicked on it, brought you there. Awesome. Okay, I'm glad. Looks like YouTube is back to doing that, because before you had to kind of copy or whatever. So excellent. Rabid Wolverine. You have a blue shield, right? Let me know right now if you have a blue shield. If not, I'm going to give you one. So when you type, you'll see it, or you'll see it beside your name or whatever. Or just whatever you've typed. Because you've been here a number of times. I'm pretty sure we did that, but on this software, I can't see. I have to actually go do... Yep, you got it? All right, excellent. Excellent. That's a thank you. Makes you a full part of the Borgata, and you don't have to prick your finger and burn the picture of a saint even. So pretty nice there. All right. Bradley rubbing up the ball and ready to deal. 1-2 pitch. Grounder, and Hunt's only play will be to first. So Gene Tennis is retired. Tommy Davis moves into scoring position for Dick Green. Dick Green in the game's grounded to short, flown out to deep center. Bradley deals. 0-2 pitch and punched out on the fastball. So Tom Bradley hangs up K number 5, 2 down. And we got a pitcher batting here. We got Raleigh Fingers. So interesting here. Interesting choice. We'll see if they yank Fingers. Anyhow, or pull your fingers. You can go with that where you want. 179 for Raleigh Fingers. 6 RBIs and rocket in the stash. And Raleigh Fingers swings. Bouncer deep to first. And Andrews cannot hold on to the ball. Mike Andrews committing what might be a costly error. This one off the glove and down into the dirt. Luckily, he keeps the ball in front of him, preventing Tommy Davis from coming home. Runners at the corners now, and here's Bert Campaneris. Bert Campaneris 2 for 3, 2 singles in the game. Big pitch right here for Tom Bradley from the stretch. Wait, Ed Herman out to have a quick word. From the stretch, and this one grounded toward first. Andrews to Bradley, and Bradley gets out of it. Wow, what a game. No runs, no hits, 2 errors. 7 in the books here at Oakland Coliseum. And it's 2-1 in favor of the Athletics. Oakland looking to get a full 1-game lead over these White Sox, and the White Sox looking to share first place with Oakland. All right, are they going to allow Tom Bradley to pitch or to hit? No, they will not. Bounder back to Raleigh Fingers, and I do believe that was none other than Carlos May. There's so many Mays in baseball, so Carlos May grounds out 5-3. 1 down now. Back at the top of the order here for Luis Alvarado. Singled his last time up, 1 for 3. Raleigh Fingers make that 2 for 3s. This one gets under the glove of Dick Green and gets into right field for a base hit. So Chicago and Oakland tied 5 each in base knocks. Brings up Pat Kelly now. The lefty right fielder RBI single that scored Tom Bradley back in the 6th, giving the White Sox a brief 1-0 lead. Alvarado, just with 1 steal on the season. Rolly Fingers has the sign from Gene Tennis. Battery ready to roll. Full count. This one grounded deep to the hole in right, but Green Campaneris to Epstein for the 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. All right, Terry Forster now will come on to pitch for the Chicago White Sox. 17th appearance of the season for him as we head to the bottom half of inning number 8. Rick Monday, Reggie Jackson, Mike Epstein due up for the A's. All right, Rick Monday, RBI triple back in the 6th. So he is 2 for 3. All right, Terry Forster has finished his warm-up pitches. Forster, no wins, 2 losses, 3 saves, 24 and 2/3 innings worked on the season. And 2-1 pitch. This one twisting foul. Alvarado giving chase at the dugout. Reaches in or reaches over. And this one will get out of play. Count 2-2. Rick Monday straightens it out into a base hit into right field. 3rd hit for Rick Monday today. Brings up Reggie. So Reggie Jackson, RBI sacrifice back in the 6th, scored Rick Monday. The man on first now. 2-1, bottom of the 8th. Terry Forster, the 1-2 pitch. And swing and a miss on a fastball by Reggie Jackson. Hang up a K for Mr. Forster. 1 away now, Mike Epstein. Mike Epstein, nothing in 3 attempts today. He's flown out, grounded out, and struck out. Forster, 2-1 pitch. This one drilled into center field. And Johnstone having trouble getting to the ball. Finally does play the carom perfectly. And Rick Monday will stop at second. 2 on now for Oakland. 1 down for Sal Bando. Sal Bando has not gotten the ball out of the infield dirt today. Forster deals. 1-1 pitch. He does this time. Open the window at Minnie. Grand, or no, 3-run shot for Sal Bando. And I said earlier that he's been knocking the horsehide around. 23rd home run for Salvatore Bando. And it is now 5-1. So what was in this game, a perfect game and a shutout, and then that ended, but look what we got now. So Oakland trying to assert dominance here, showing why they've held on to the American League West pretty much all season. Here's Tommy Davis. He grounded to short, was safe on an error last time up. 1 down, 3 in for Oakland. And Vicente Romo into pitch now. Romo in this season, 4 wins, 3 losses, 3 saves for the Chicago White Sox. All right, 2 down. Here's Gene Tennis. So Romo picking up the strikeout on a fastball that painted the inside corner. Gene Tennis trying to extend that hitting streak. Romo deals 2-0 pitch, soft liner, and Bill Melton has it for out number 3. We go to the 9th inning, and the heart of the Chicago White Sox order due up. Reichert, Melton, and Herman. All right. So Rick Reichert in the game, robbed of a home run by Rick Monday. Rick Monday has robbed 2 home runs today, by the way. 0-2 pitch, fly ball, center field. Monday back, has the grab on the track. All right, Bill Melton now. 0 for 3, 2-1 pitch. This one drilled to left, and Tommy Davis catches a wicked sinking liner out there. And it's down to Ed Herman. Last time up, he had a double. Fingers deals 1-2 pitch, and that is the game. Fastball just inside, on the inside corner, just catching a millimeter. And the Oakland Athletics take this one from the Chicago White Sox. For Oakland, 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. For Chicago, 1 run, 5 hits, 2 errors. Blue Moon Odom improves to 6-7. Tom Bradley falls to 11-5. And we had 1 home run in this game by Sal Bando. It was a big one. Big home run for Bando. A 3-run shot for him that I almost called a grand slam. What I've not been smoking. All right, so anyhow, Bradley pitched 7. Gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 1, and struck out 5. Terry Forster worked an inning in relief, and that's when he gave up that 3-run shot to Sal Bando. Otherwise, he struck out a batter. Vicente Romo, 2/3 of an inning in relief, and had a walk. Blue Moon Odom had a perfect game going into the 6th inning. 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned, walked 1, and struck out 3. Raleigh Fingers picks up his 8th save of the year. 2 2/3 worked for him and gave up a hit and struck out a batter. No highlights really for the White Sox. For Sal Bando, 1 for 4 with that big 3 RBI shot. And Rick Monday went 3 for 4 with a triple. And player of the game is Raleigh Fingers. I'm going to actually give it to Sal Bando. All right, Raleigh Fingers gets plenty of love. So there we go. Let's look at where we are now standings-wise. So Atlanta, the National League West, 5 games up on the San Francisco Giants. The National League East, the Pittsburgh Pirates, 3.5 up on the New York Mets. In the American League West, Oakland now 1.5 up on the Chicago White Sox, and Detroit 3.5 up on the Yankees. All right, so let's see where we are here. We're going to do one more, and then we'll call it a night. So this was 47 minutes. If anybody hangs around, thank you very much for that. All right, we could either do Yankees-Orioles. If Sports Time Machine was here, we would have to do Yankees-Orioles, but he's not, so we won't. Or possibly not. Or we can do the Mets and the Braves. Either one looks good. So again, the Mets 3.5 back against the Braves. I think we're going to do the National League game here. So we did one American League. Let's do a National League. So that means let's autoplay Yankees hosting the Baltimore Orioles, Dobson versus Peterson. And the Yankees clip the Birds 3-1. Peterson goes to 10-8. Dobson falls to 11-8. Johnson 1 for 2, hits a 16th home run, and draws the walk. So that puts the Yankees just 3 back of the Tigers. Tigers still possess the best record in baseball at 73-38. And let's go out to Atlanta, Fulton County Stadium for this matchup between the New York Mets and the Atlanta Braves. All right, Tom Seaver. All right, and here we are. Welcome to the nightcap of our doubleheader. Fulton County Stadium, Mets against the Braves. It'll be Tom Seaver. Tom Seaver for the Mets, making 23 starts in a year, 11 wins, 9 losses, an ERA of 2.36. His 4th start against the Braves, and he's 1-2 with a 3.38 earned run average against them. Opposing him will be Pat Jarvis for the Bravos. 17 starts in the year for him, and 10 wins, 3 losses, ERA of 4.04. This will be a second go-around against the Metropolitans. 76 degrees here in Atlanta. The wind speed is 10 miles per hour, crossing left field to right field, and there's a light rain falling in this important game.
Play ball!
All right. And I do think they finally fixed this bug, but let me make sure. Well, it's not a bug. Let's call it a feature, shall we? Let's call it a feature. Yep, there we go. All right, starting defense for the Atlanta Braves. In left field, Ralph Garr. In center, Sonny Jackson. And in right, Mike Lum. At first base, since we can't see his picture, we'll bring him up this way. Earl Williams at first. Always good to know what they look like. Felix Mian at second. Marty Perez at short. Darrell Evans at third. Behind the plate is Hal King. Pat Jarvis will start it off here against Bud Harrelson, who's hitting .265 with 28 runs batted in. Jarvis deals Harrelson pops this one out towards second. Mian comes in front of the bag and makes the grab for out number one. Third baseman Wayne Garrett now hitting just 197, 7 runs batted in. Garrett on the same pace as he was in 1971. Count full and swing and a miss by Garrett. And Jarvis picks up the strikeout as Mr. Mojo Rising is playing Out of Park 26, I'm seeing on my screen on Steam. 2 down now for center fielder Tommy Agee hitting 295. Tommy has 17 home runs, 71 runs batted in. Jarvis into the wind and the pitch. And Agee tries to sneak a bunt down, but King pounces on it. And Mets not getting away with that bit of shenanigans. So, nothing across. We go to the bottom of the first. The Mets nothing, and the Braves coming to bat. For the New York Mets, in left field, it's Cleon Jones. In center, Tommy Agee, and in right, Art Shamsky. And we're going to do the same over here because nobody knows what Ed Kranepool looks like. But there he is, the smiling Ed Kranepool at first. Ken Boswell at second. Bud Harrelson at short, and Wayne Garrett holding down the hot corner. Jerry Grody, of course, behind the plate, and on the mound, the great Tom Seaver. Felix Mian steps in now to lead it off here in the bottom of the first for the Atlanta Braves. Mian hitting 288, a home run, 40 runs batted in here. August 6, 1971, night game here in Atlanta. Light rain falling here and a nice breeze, so comfortable for an August night in Atlanta, Georgia, if humid. 0-2 pitch. Felix Mian waves at it and notices there was no connection. So Seaver begins his outings in this inning with a strikeout. Ralph Garr with an 8-game hitting streak now. And they're looking bunt from Garr. Garrett in at third, Kranepool in at first. Seaver deals home. 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Hard ground ball to Boswell. Boswell snap throw onto Ed Kranepool. 2 up, 2 down for the Braves. Here's Mike Lum. Mike Lum hitting 253, 7 homers, 47 runs batted in. 2-0 pitch, and this one, base hit, off the wall into right. Lum is going to go for 2. Shamsky and Agee converge, and Agee able to get the ball back in. So a 2-out double for Mike Lum, his 11th of the year. And here's third baseman Darrell Evans. Darrell Evans hitting at a 248 clip, 14 home runs, 39 runs batted in. Seaver winds and fires, and base hit right field. Shamsky up with it, and Darrell Evans the throw to the plate, and they got him. They got him. Mike Lum, Jerry Grody with a swipe tag, just getting Lum before I was about to call that one an RBI. Mike Lum is out of there. How about it? All right, so we go to the top of the second, and we are scoreless. So Art Shamsky getting the outfield strong throw there all the way home and gets Mike Lum. Goodness gracious. All right, Cleon Jones, Ed Kranepool, and Ken Boswell do up here. Cleon Jones. Cleon's going to be the name of my dog. I'm going to get myself a big old golden retriever hitting 327, 11 home runs, 57 runs batted in. I like the name Cleon, and I can just see a big old golden retriever named Cleon, and I like it. Pat Jarvis deals full count. Tapper back to the mound. Jarvis races Jones to the bag. Why Jarvis didn't go to first is just absolutely beyond me. Williams waiting over there, but Jarvis losing the race. So runner on. Here's Ed Kranepool on a 7-game hitting streak. Jarvis deals 0-1 pitch, fly ball out to left. Ralph Garr on his horse to his right, to his left, makes the grab, fires the ball quickly back into Marty Perez. So 1 down now for Ken Boswell. Boswell hitting 281, 3 home runs, 49 runs batted in. All right, Jarvis brings it home. And the throw down, Cleon Jones off to the races, gets his 5th stolen base of the season. He actually had 6 in 1971. All right, runner in scoring position for the New York Mets, 1 away. Boswell back in the box, and the 0-1 pitch. Boswell spanks this one. Gapper into right. Boswell, RBI doubles. Cleon Jones comes home to score And the New York Mets lead this one 1-0 in the top of the second inning. All right, here's Art Shamsky with that great strong throw that got Mike Lum at the plate back in the bottom of the first inning. Shamsky, as soon as Earl Williams decides to go away, Shamsky hitting just 183. Again, he's right there as he actually was in 1971. 9 home runs, 34 runs batted in for him. Jarvis brings it home and fly to right, shallow right. Williams out, Lum in, calling for it, makes the catch. 2 out, and that will bring up Jerry Grote. Grote hitting 265, 2 home runs, and 35 runs batted in. Jarvis deals, Grote pops this one, foul territory, third base side. Darrell Evans makes the grab for out number 3. But the New York Mets pick up a run on 2 hits, no errors. And we go to the bottom of the second inning. The Mets lead the Braves 1-0. Hey, Aaron Reed. How are you doing tonight? Welcome into the nightcap of a twin bill here in 1971 in Action PC Baseball. Hope you're doing well, buddy. I had junk and stuff to do today, so I couldn't get my Apple refresher course from you today, buddy. So maybe we'll have to hold that off till the weekend or next Monday. All right. Aaron says he's doing all right. And that's good. That is good. Welcome in, pal. And thanks for being on the old chin wag the other night. Always love having Aaron Reed on, helping me to call a game and pocket pennant run baseball. All right, 5, 6, and 7 due up here for the Atlanta Braves. Earl Williams, 261, average 26 home runs, 72 runs batted in. Jerry Grote into the crouch, sets the target for Tom Terrific. And on a 1-2 pitch, this one, fastball in the inside corner. Seaver picks up the strikeout, his second of the game. All right, here's the catcher now, Hal King, hitting 245, 5 homers, 21 runs batted in. Seaver into the wind, 2-0 pitch. Hard grounder back to the mound. Seaver fields on to Ed Kranepool, has all day to throw it to first. So score that one 1-3, 2 down for the center fielder, Sonny Jackson. Sonny Jackson hitting 259, 2 homers, 31 runs batted in. Seaver deals, full count, and Sonny Jackson cuts, but Jerry Grote hung on to that one. So pick up another strikeout there for Mr. Seaver. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 in the books here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. New York Mets lead the Atlanta Braves 1-0. And we will see Tom Seaver to lead things off here. Seaver having a good year at the plate, hitting 263 in 57 at-bats. So foul tip, strike 3. Yeah, man, we'll do it again, Aaron. I really liked it. Maybe you can pick another date in baseball, another baseball game or something, and again, have you do some color commentary. Had fun doing it too, buddy. All right, here's the pitch. 1-2 pitch, and Seaver out in front of that curveball. Jarvis, nice changeup. Picking up the strikeout, his second of the game. Back at the top of the order now for switch hitting Bud Harrelson, who was 0-for-1. Harrelson popped to second. Make sure to try Only Pop Soda, guys. It's really good. 3-1 pitch. Slow bouncer back to Pat Jarvis, and fires on to Earl Williams for the second out of the inning. Light rain continuing to fall here in Atlanta. More of a drizzle, really. And here's Wayne Garrett. Garrett struck out last time. Jarvis brings it home and loses him on 4 straight pitches. So changeup just missing inside. Tommy Agee, 0-for-1. Agee tried to sneak on back in the first inning with a bunt, but Hal King pounced on that and firing down to first. 1-2 pitch. Fly ball deep to right field. Mike Lum looks up. It's gone. And there goes Aunt Minnie. Aunt Minnie trying to make a cake today, cooling it in the window. And that one splattered all over the frosting. Tommy Agee, 346-foot shot, 2-run homer. And the Mets now take a 3-0 lead with 2 down here in the top of the third inning. Cleon Jones, 1-for-1, infield single. Last time, Pat Jarvis, 3-1 pitch. Evans plays it on a perfect hop on to Williams to retire Cleon Jones. But the New York Mets, 2 runs, 1 hit, and no errors. Bottom of the third here in Atlanta. The Mets lead the Braves 3-0. He quacked his bat apparently. David Lando, how are you doing, man? Always good to see Mr. David Lando. One of the redoubtable, erstwhile ne'er-do-wells of the family. Hope all's well with you, David. All right, here's Marty Perez now. Perez hitting .247, 4 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Seaver into the wind. And on a full count, he loses Marty Perez. So the Bravos have a base runner, and here's Pat Jarvis, and obviously bunt situation here. Seaver comes home with it. Jarvis gets the bunt down, rolling down the first base line, and there we go. Kranepool will tag him for the out, but sacrifice successful as Marty Perez moves into scoring position. Felix Millan with a 7-game hitting streak. Millan struck out back in the first. We're back at the top of the order for Atlanta. 1 down here. Seaver deals. Millan swings. Grounder. Harrelson. Long throw to Kranepool. Millan with great speed, but they do just get him. On the play, Marty Perez moves to third. Ralph Garr, 8-game hitting streak. 0-for-1. Grounded to second. Back in the first. Braves looking to get on the board here in the bottom of the third inning. Brody sets up. Seaver from the stretch. 1-2 pitch. And Ralph Garr cuts and misses. Seaver dropping the curve. So nothing across for the Braves. They leave one just 90 feet away. We go to the top of the fourth inning here. New York Mets lead the Atlanta Braves 3-0. The Mets 3.5 back of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Braves sitting atop the National League West just ahead of the San Francisco Giants. All right, Kranepool, Boswell, Shamsky due up for the Mets. Ralph Garr, meep, meep, absolutely. It says Aaron Reed, meep, meep. Ed Kranepool, 7-game hitting streak, flew out to deep left center last time up. Lefty in the box. Pat Jarvis, 0-2 pitch, Kranepool, bouncer to second. Felix Millan to Earl Williams, textbook for 3 put out. 1 up, 1 down for Ken Boswell. RBI double that scored Cleon Jones. I love saying that name, man. 2-1 pitch. Popped in the infield first base side. Beyond calling off Williams for out number 2. All right, Art Shamsky now. 0-for-1. Flew out to shallow right back in the second. Jarvis deals. 1-2 pitch. Fly ball into shallow left field. Ralph Garr has it for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the fourth. 3-0. Mets leading the Braves here in 1971. Mike Lum will start things off here. Darrell Evans waits on deck. Mike Lum with a double back in the first inning. Unable to capitalize on that double. Tom Seaver now with 4 strikeouts and a walk. Here's the pitch, and Mike Lum looks at one on the outside corner. Change up there by Tom Seaver, just placing that pitch perfectly. Darrell Evans singled last time up. 0-1 pitch. Darrell Evans going to single to right this time up, too. Shamsky plays it on a room service hop out there. Holding Evans to a single, and here's Earl Williams. He fanned against Seaver last time. All right, adjusts his cap, steps into the box. Seaver uncorks it. 1-2 pitch. Soft liner out to Wayne Garrett at third. 2 down. And David says, it's funny, redoubtable, erstwhile, ne'er-do-well is on your new business card. You're going to get a lot of clients that way, pal. Aaron says he loves some Looney Tunes. You are redoubtable, erstwhile, and ne'er-do-well. I like it. I think I can see it now. We just need the proper font, though, David. We need the proper font for that. All right, here's Hal King. He is 0-for-1. Grounded back to Seaver last time up. Tom terrific. 1-1 pitch. This one ripped up the middle, base hit. Going for 3 is Darrell Evans. And he has a standing up. And on the play, Hal King moves to second. And looks like we have an error on the play. Yeah, Tommy Agee with a bad throw. So that's going to be an error on Tommy Agee. So there we go. So 2 down, and King just 90 feet away. And here's Sonny Jackson. He's nothing for one. Struck out back in the second. Seaver works home from the stretch in the 2-1 pitch. Bouncer to first, and Ed Kranepool will take it to the bag himself. But the Atlanta Braves do pick up a run on 2 hits. There was 1 error. 4 done here in Atlanta Fulton Cali Stadium. New York Mets lead the Atlanta Braves 3-1. All right, Jerry Grote, Tom Seaver. Jerry Grote is nothing for one. Popped to third back in the second. 2-1 pitch, grounded, and Felix Millan cannot hold on to the ball. Bounces off his glove and trickles a little bit into very, very shallow right. About, 2 feet into right field. Felix Millan with his 12th error of the season. And for the Braves, first error of the game. All right, runner on. Here's Tom Seaver. Infield looks like it's playing normally against Tom Terrific. Last time he struck out. Jarvis deals. No! Seaver gets the bunt down. They move the infield in, rushing in on Seaver that time, and they get him. But sacrifice success for Jerry Grote. Moves into scoring position for Bud Harrelson, who tapped out to Pat Jarvis last time up. And Jarvis with the 0-2 pitch. Fly ball center field. Sonny Jackson has it at the base of the wall. Jerry Grote knows he ain't going anywhere, even though Sonny Jackson doesn't have the strongest arm out there in the center pasture. JT Dutch. Yeah, where were you yesterday, dude? Like, you weren't here, and we were going to do Sunday. You feel like talking some baseball tonight? Let me know. If not, I totally get it, too. But I hope you will, or at least not tonight, sometime soon. A pretty good weekend, and I hope the same for you, bud. Hope all is well out there on the left-hand coast. This is Jim Morrison saying, yeah, come to the west, we'll do the rest. So, in honor of California last night, I watched The Big Lebowski, because we were talking about that movie. Dude, I did 3 games yesterday. We did a doubleheader in Pearson baseball. We did a game in Pocket Pennant Run baseball, and earlier yesterday we had Paul Fay on here for a deep dive into Baseball HQ. So, wow. Yep. So lots of baseball yesterday. I almost wasn't going to do anything tonight, but I can't. It's hard for me to go. I can go like maybe one day without La Familia. So, but we're back. So mi fratri, JT Dutch in here. I made him an honorary Italian, by the way. He doesn't know that till now, but he is. He's JT Dutch. JT Dutch is now. Let's say he's a pretty shrewd dude, not one to be trifled with. So he's from the Calabria region of Italy, and parts of that's so remote. The Calabrians have their own dialect that really doesn't really resemble Italian that closely. Interesting folk in Calabria. So there you go, JT Dutch. They're bordered right on the Straits of Messina and just across the water into Sicilia. Wayne Garrett, nothing for one. He has struck out and walked. 3-1 Mets lead here in the top of the 5th inning. Pat Jarvis deals 0-2 pitch, and Wayne Garrett on the curveball comes up empty. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Mets lead the Braves 3-1. And it's Marty Perez, Pat Jarvis, and Felix Millan due up for the Atlanta Crew. Marty Perez coaxed a walk out of Tom Seaver back in the 3rd, and that is the only walk issued by Seaver to accompany his 5 Ks. Seaver brings it home, 2-1 pitch, and ground ball, and Ed Kranepool having to step about 2 to his right, grabs it and jogs to first for the out. All right, here's Pat Jarvis now. Sacrificed last time. Seaver deals 1-0 pitch and grounded out there to Harrelson. To Cranepole. That's 6-3. 2 up, 2 down for Felix Mian back at the top of the order. Mian 0 for 2. Seaver deals. Quiet inning here for the Braves as Cranepole take it for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. 5 complete here in Atlanta. Mets lead the Braves 3-1. Yeah, JT, I didn't come on last night. It was a lot of baseball yesterday, and it was like, tired. So, and I guess when I was on yesterday, early for you or what have you, but we can open up the old mic if you want to. Calabria. Traveled past that area a long time ago. I think the capital region is Catanzaro. So, home of one of Italy's 3 mafias. Not mafia families, but actual mafias. So, Calabria. And again, there's a dialect there. Calabria is a very remote part of Italy. It's right down at the end of the boot. And there is a dialect spoken there that doesn't resemble Italian. I don't know that linguists have called it a language, but it's not really related to Italian. 2-run homer for Tommy Agee back in the third, giving the Mets this was a 3-0 lead at that point. Jarvis deals 1-1 pitch. This one cranked to center, but Sonny Jackson leaps and makes the catch just in front of the Bud Light sign out there. 1 up, 1 down, and here's Cleon Jones. 1 for 2 with a single. And this one, an honest-to-goodness double. So Cleon Jones turning on the juice there, and he will get into second. All right, here's Ed Cranepole now batting. Cleon Jones at second. Ed Cranepole has hit safely in 7 straight games. Could be, I'm not really sure. The book that I'm reading right now doesn't go into great detail about that, so I need to dive more deeply. I mean, because since Italian is a Romance language, it's derivative of Latin, as is Romanian, Spanish, Portuguese, French. Romanian is actually the closest language to Latin. But Calabria, Italy, like, it's interesting that how Calabria was considered this sort of almost another country in Italy, even under Mussolini, the jerk, really didn't quite know how to deal with Calabria. All right, Cranepole looking to extend this hitting streak. He is 0 for 2. Pat Jarvis deals 2-0 count, and Mian to Williams for the 4-3 putout. Cleon Jones will move to third. I'm going to make a Cleon Jones league, and I'm going to make a Golden Retriever logo, or maybe ask Jamie to do it. We'll see. Jamie's pretty handy with that stuff. RBI double for Ken Boswell back in the second. That scored the man on third, Cleon Jones. Pat Jarvis from the stretch. 2-1 pitch, bouncer up to first, and Earl Williams will take it to the bag himself. So the Mets are turned away here in the top of the 6th. And Ralph Garr will lead things off here. Meet for you, Aaron. So Ralph Garr, 0 for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. Seaver winds and fires. 1-1 pitch, base hit in the hole, through the hole into right field. Shamsky up with it. Ralph Garr aboard. And here's Mike Lum. Double and a strikeout in this game. Seaver deals. Garr thought about going to second, but strikeout there by Mike Lum. So 1 down. Seaver now with 6 Ks in the game. Darrell Evans. Let's fucking go Mets. So RJL, the Oakland A's are charmed tonight in YouTube baseball land with your game, and they won an important game here. First game of our doubleheader against the Chicago White Sox. Good game over there on RJL Network, guys. So check it out as the wild card is decided in the American League in 1980. And now the heat comes on. No baseball, says Robert, tomorrow night. So tune back in Tuesday, as Robert says, be there or be square. Darrell Evans, 2 for 2 now. He has singled twice in this game. And that first single was when Mike Lum was nailed at home by Art Shamsky. Strong throw by Shamsky. Seaver deals. No, throw over. Ralph Garr dives back, and he is safe. Good lunge there. They should have a baseball statistic for lunges back to first. Seaver deals, count full, and Tom Terrific loses Darrell Evans. 2 on, Braves down. Tying run is on first now. They're down 3-1. And here is Earl Williams. He has struck out and lined out. Seaver studies the signs from Jerry Grody. Grody out to have a quick word with Tom Seaver. Back behind the dish. 1-0 pitch. This one cranked high and deep to left field. Open the window and mini Earl Williams comes through clutch big time against one of the greatest pitchers of all time. And for the first time in this game, the Atlanta Braves take the lead. It is 4-3. All right. Seaver asking time for a second. Bends down, ties the old laces. They didn't need time. I think Seaver just trying to psych out Hal King here. All right, King, RBI single back in the fourth. 4-3 your score. Seaver deals. And King works him deep in the count. Lazy fly ball out to right field. Shamsky will glove it for out number 2. Sonny Jackson has been unsuccessful against Seaver 2 times tonight. He has struck out and grounded out. Seaver brings home 0-1 pitch. Shamsky ranging to his right has it for out number 3, but 3 runs, 2 hits, no errors. 6 in the book here in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. The Atlanta Braves lead the New York Mets 4-3. Mets in second place in the National League East, and Atlanta sitting atop the National League West. All right, it will be Shamsky, Grody, and we'll see if Seaver will be allowed to hit for himself. Shamsky, nothing for 2 in the game. He's flown out twice. Pat Jarvis with 3 strikeouts and a walk right now. So, American League Division Series 1980 will be Game 1 Wednesday. Baltimore going to the house that Ruth built. And that'll be Wednesday night, 8 p.m. on the RJL network. Jarvis deals. 0-1 pitch. Shamsky sends this one out to left field. Ralph Garr has it in his sights and picks it off a tall blade of grass. One away, great play there, says the color man by Ralph Garr, so we'll believe that. Jerry Grody now, nothing for 2. Was safe on an error last time. Pat Jarvis winds and fires, and on a full count, just misses. Jarvis not happy, wanting the call here. Fastball, though, down in the dirt, and the only way you're going to get that as a called strike is if Eddie Gaedel was batting. The boogie down Bronx, says JT Dutch. All right, here's Tom Terrific. He is nothing for 1. Sacrificed his last time. And Hal King out to talk to Pat Jarvis. Looking bunt from Seaver, gets it down, and Jarvis will go to Mion at first. Jerry Grody moves to second on the play. Sacrifice successful. Tying run in scoring position for the New York Mets here in the top of the 7th. 2 down for Bud Harrelson. Pardon me. Harrelson flew out to center last time up. He is 0 for 3. Jarvis deals. 1-2 pitch. Cranked to center. Sonny Jackson has it against the wall. And the Mets are turned away. Middle of the 7th. 4-3 Atlanta. All right, we are back. Bottom of the 7th inning. Got us a good ball game here. Let's review our scoring really quickly. New York got a run in the first, 2 in or a run in the second, 2 in the third. Atlanta answered with 1 in the fourth, and then 3 in the sixth. So 4-3 is your score. 4-6-1 for Atlanta. 3-4-1 for the Mets. The Braves have stranded 3. The Mets 4 left out to dry. As Marty Perez leads things off, Pat Jarvis waits on deck here. Bottom of the seventh action here in Atlanta. Perez 0 for 1 with a walk, grounded at first his last time up. Seaver at 89 pitches. And 2-1 pitch, this one high and deep to left. And I didn't even realize who that was. Hank Aaron comes in and goes yard. The hammer hammers at 388 feet. And the Braves add a little bit of insurance. Wow, they sneaked him in on me. I really got to change the setting so it will let me know who's coming on to pinch hit. So Hank Aaron, we'll see if he stays in the game. And Pat Jarvis, I'm guessing with the Aaron home run, will be allowed to hit for himself. And he will. And there's a strike 3 called on a breaking ball. So Seaver, the 7th strikeout of the game. John DFW, is he waving to get my attention? John, what's up? John's waving, but could it be that John has, I don't know. He could have something very urgent to say. So we'll wait. So remember, Olipop soda, man. You can drink soda, feel good about it. It is probiotic. I had a can of the lemon lime tonight. Just 50 calories, but to me, the calories aren't important, but for some of you it is. But good stuff. Oh, he's clapping. Oh, that's clapping. Okay, he's applauding. All right. Sorry. I didn't say it. I thought you were like, wait a minute. All right. So, all right. John giving everybody the clap here. And I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. That's clapping. So somebody told me that other one that they use, that emoji for prayer, is actually like a high five. Those are supposed to be 2 hands giving a high five, but I guess folks think that looks like hands praying or something. If somebody wants to put that up in the old chat and we can debate whether that's a high five or somebody praying, go ahead. And if not, that's okay too. So I'm going to remember that is for applause. I am a bit of an Egypt, but I guess if I look at it here, I do see it now. The little cartoon line thingy makes it looks like yeah. All right. Or is it the sound of one hand clapping? Love it. All right. Anyhow, John happy with that Henry Aaron home run. Felix Mion, again, 7-game hitting streak, nothing for 3, looking to keep it alive here against Seaver. 1-2 pitch ain't going to happen. 2 hopper to short. Harrelson had a perfect bounce on that. Fires to Ed Crane, pull for out number 2. Now with the number 2 hitter here, Ralph Garr. Ralph Garr 1 for 3. 0-2 pitch. Grounded to Harrelson. Off his glove into left field. And they're going to score that one an error. 14th of the year for Bud Harrelson. 2nd for the Mets in this game. So the Mets don't fall out of... not going to lose too much ground here with the Pirates, having won their game earlier. Watching this one with interest. All right, here's Mike Lum now. Ralph Garr with 27 steals in the season. Lum 1 for 3, doubled way back in the first inning. And Tom Seaver brings it home. The throw down. Ralph Garr is caught stealing. Great throw by Jerry Grody. And they run themselves out of the inning. But 1 run, that Hank Aaron home run on 1 hit and 1 error. Hank Aaron will not play. Let's see if this is going to throw a shortstop in for me. Yep, it will be. And it will be none other than Zoilo Versales playing short for the Atlanta Braves. And actually, since I'm not managing the Braves, I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? Or am I? I don't know. I'm not managing anybody. Here's Wayne Garrett. He's whiffed 2 times. Pat Jarvis at 111 pitches right now, so he's good for a little bit more. Jarvis deals to Garrett. 0-1 pitch. And how about that? There's a strikeout. So jump from 0-1 to a strikeout. Gotta love it. Hank Aaron is a total bum, says RJL Network. And RJL Network, of course, meaning that in the context of this game, certainly not that the great Henry Aaron is a bum. No. But these Mets fans, man, they show no mercy. As it should be, right? As it should be. All right, Tommy Agee bats with one down. Agee is 1 for 3. Cleon Jones waits on deck. Tommy Agee, 2-run shot back in the third. Jarvis winds and fires, 3-1 pitch, hit deep to center field. Sonny Jackson slams against the wall and makes the grab for out number 2. Agee gave it a ride. Cleon Jones, 2 for 3. Doubled his last time up. 0-1 pitch, and Jones skies this one out to shallow left. Darrell Evans taps the glove and makes the grab. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and 5-3 in favor of the Braves. Mike Lum, who many have called a bum, Darrell Evans and Earl Williams do up for the Atlanta Braves. Mike Lum is 1 for 3. He's whiffed twice, and he has a double. Seaver deals, and 2-2 pitch. This one hit deep to center field, and my man Cleon Jones makes the grab. 1 down. Darrell Evans perfect 2 for 2 today, and he walked. And now he strikes out, swings and misses. Tom Seaver's got a wicked changeup, and that's the third time that we've seen a batter that's going to have to see his chiropractor as he got so far out in front of that pitch. I think he pulled some lats and all that other kind of stuff, and severe damage to the lumbar region caused by the Tom Seaver change of pace. All right, 2 down now. Earl Williams, and we know what he did back in the 6th. 0-2 pitch, hard ground ball, but Harrelson making a great diving stop from the knees, throws onto Ed Kranepool to get the runner. We go to the 9th. New York Mets down 2 runs, and it will be the 5, 6, 7 hitters Kranepool, Boswell, and Shamsky due up for the Mets. Ed Kranepool 0 for 3 in this game. Jarvis looking for a complete game win, and this was a little fly ball out there to Mike Lum, and he'll make the grab for out number 1. Ken Boswell 1 for 3. RBI back in the second that scored my man Cleon Jones. Jarvis deals, 1-2 pitch, base hit, past Zoilo Rosales into left field. Ralph Guard gets the ball in quickly. Runner aboard for the New York Mets here in the top of the 9th, and the tying run comes to the plate in the person of Art Shamsky. He's flown out 3 times in this game. All right, Jarvis asking for a new ball, gets one, rubs it up with some Chesapeake Bay mud, looks in, has the sign from Hal King. 1-2 pitch, fly ball, center field. Sonny Jackson leaps and makes the grab. Robin Art Shamsky. 2 down, and here is Jerry Grody. 0 for 2. Jarvis is tired, but he wants this last out. 2-2 pitch, looks like he's going to get it. I don't know, wait, fly ball deep to right. Mike Lum has it, and the Atlanta Braves come from behind and take this one from the New York Mets. 2 fine ball games we had tonight. So the Atlanta Braves will improve to 70-46, second best record in baseball. New York Mets fall to 61-49. The Atlanta Braves, Jackson's had a busy night out there. He sure has, JT Dutch. Atlanta, 5 runs, 7 hits, 1 error. For the New York Mets, 3 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. Highlights for the New York Mets. Tommy Agee goes 1 for 4, had that 2-run shot. And Cleon Jones, 2 for 4 with the double. And a stolen base for the Atlanta Braves. Earl Williams, 1 for 4. Home run, 3 ribbies. Darrell Evans goes 2 for 3. Hank Aaron comes on as a pinch hitter and knocks it out of the park. So there we go. How about that? 3 home runs in this game. Let's have a quick look at pitching. No triples in this game, but that's all right. Tom Seaver went 8, 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned, gave up 2 homers, walked 2, but he fanned 8. So 2.49 for Tom. Terrific. Not bad at all. Pat Jarvis goes the distance, 9 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, a home run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts, and brings that ERA down to 3.97. And your player of the game is Earl Williams. All right, let's back out. Let's look at standings, and then we're done as far as playing games goes. All right. In the National League West, the Atlanta Braves with a 5.5 game lead on the San Francisco Giants. In the National League East, the Pittsburgh Pirates with a 4 game lead on the New York Mets. In the American League West, 1.5 game lead, Oakland holding on over there against Chicago. And finally, the American League East, the New York Yankees, 3 back, and the Baltimore Orioles, 7 back of the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers, best record in baseball, Atlanta with the second best. There we go. Rigged. Section 518 groans, says RJO Network. So there we had us a little doubleheader, guys, and that was fun. Just looking at what we have for the next time we visit 1971. And so we got Vita Blue, Joe Horlin for the A's and the White Sox. That'll be a pretty fine matchup. We're probably going to do Yankees at Orioles, though. Just because Robert. Why not, Robert? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Except I'll be doing this game tomorrow night. And you're, 71? So you're 9 years in the future, but still. We may even feature a couple games here just for funsies. Rick Wise versus Bob Moose. We got Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, Battle of the Commonwealth. Philadelphia, of course, out of this race. Let me see who has the worst record in baseball right now. I guess that one would go to the Washington Senators. JT, do you feel like coming on or not? If you don't, I totally understand. If you do, that would be cool, whichever you want to do. So, this 1971 project has been a lot of fun. 597 games to go. We've played 1,340. This season replay stuff is fun. It is. What can I say? And since I'm hearing that there's a bit of an issue right now with... okay, let me unshare and reshare, because right now you're going to get a lot of echo back on you. And we'll get you on here for a bit and talk some baseball. But yeah, this has been really, really fun. So let me go ahead and stop my screen share. Stop the screen share, man. Boom. There we go. I'm going to share the screen, but without sound this time. Just so we have a little backdrop. Why not? Okay, and share. All right, add to scene. God, it's amazing, isn't it? Modern technology, you gotta love it. You just gotta love it. Let's bring those comments back out. And let me put you guys over here. And let's invite brother, it says. So we're going to invite brother JT. And bada boom, bada bing. There we go. All right. So. Here we are. We are on the cusp, if you will. The cusp, I say, of the 2026 baseball season. Let's not worry about the CBA at the end of the year. Let's just celebrate the return of baseball. It seemed quick this year. It's like, wow, great World Series. And JT, can you hear me? Are you there, brother? I heard you for a second. JT Dutch. Perhaps you're sort of like kind of garbly. Um, you're not coming through strong, brother. You want to try to reconnect? Perhaps, because we can't hear you at all. This is what the Calabrese do, man. They kind of sneak up on you. So yeah, we can't hear you, JT. Cannot hear you. and I got you added to the scene and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's see if Action PC is. Let's knock that out, and let's just have Pocket Pen run up there in the background. Maybe it's that. Who knows? I don't know. Just all kinds of hoodoo and voodoo. So while we JT can figure things out there, we are. It just seems to me. I don't know about you guys, but it seems to me that this off season just went poof, and here we are, ready to go after one of the greatest World Series of all time. I think played this past October. JT, still can't hear you, brother. In fact, it's not even showing that you got, yeah, showing, nothing. Well, this is going to be a very short chat.
How about now?
Oh, that's perfect. Thank you. How you doing,
Okay,
brother?
I'm
How
doing
you,
fine. How are you
mi
doing?
fratre Casarich? I'm doing all right, man. Just back to work tomorrow. My final week at FedEx Express, and then the big merger and
Okay.
all that crap. And I go to a Monday through Friday schedule, 2 to 10. 2 in the afternoon
Oh,
to
so
10
2
in the
p.m.
evening.
tomorrow? So
Well, no.
that's
So
11.
tomorrow, well, so
Oh, okay.
tomorrow I still go in at 12:45. So this is the last week of FedEx Express. Then I'm off next Sunday and Monday, and then I begin with FedEx One. Now it's going to be called at Tuesday at 2 in the afternoon, and then that'll be a short week. But then, yeah, I'm going to be going to 2 to 10 Monday. Well, it's going to be weird having Saturdays off. Very weird. I'm not used to it. So strange. I mean, because I would always be off Saturday evenings, and I would get 4 extra hours of a weekend on my old schedule. So I'm gonna miss that. Anyhow, man, how are things out in California?
Oh, they're fine.
Yeah.
I watched a really good video that Uncle Ron put out on the '86 Red Sox and the curious case of them, and how much of a challenge it is to make them achieve in '86 what they actually did in real life. Because
Mm,
one of those seasons where it was a Cinderella type year for the Red Sox.
indeed, it was. What a World Series that was! It really
Yeah,
was. It
great World Series.
Yeah, it was. I think that's one of the great ones too.
Hmm.
So much drama, and I mean beyond Buckner. I mean, it was just a
Yeah,
great World Series. It really, really was. So,
no
uh,
question.
you ready for baseball season, brother?
Yeah, ready as I'll be. Um,
Ready as you'll be.
I've played some out of the park. It's been good. Just
Hmm.
kind of getting used to it. One of the things that out of the park doesn't do. I hate to start out with something that it doesn't do
No, that's
well, but
fine.
I think I might put in a ticket for. It seems like you don't get a credit for a bunt single unless you're actually actively attempting to bunt for a single. Do you know what I mean? I tried a squeeze
Hmm.
play, and not only was the runner score on the squeeze play, but the man who laid down the bunt was safe at first, and it should have been a bunt single, but
Oh yeah.
it wasn't counted as a single, it wasn't counted as a hit.
Oh
And
wow.
then I tried to bunt another guy over, and he was safe too, and it was bunted so well that they didn't have a play, and I thought, well, they can't call this a fielder's choice because he just let the ball roll, and he was safe
Right.
at first, but they didn't call it a single either. So there's some tricky things in strict replay mode. The the roster that you have at the beginning of the game does not match the opening day roster that the team actually had in real life, so that's kind of something too. But other
Yeah.
than that, it's been fine. It looks great. Old
Yeah.
time uniforms look great. Mike Silva did a great job on
As
those.
always. Yeah.
It's just yeah, the ballparks, the old jerseys, aesthetically, it's very very nice, very
It
pleasing.
is. Yeah. There's still a lot of still some work that has to be done. Again, it was brought up
Yeah.
earlier that there's some trouble with too many foul balls. I haven't noticed that, but
No, I
I'm
haven't
gonna pay.
either.
I haven't. I'm gonna have to pay more attention and see exactly what's going on.
But then
But
again, I don't do the pitch by pitch on that. I sometimes I'll have a batter who is not known for a good eye. I'll have him take a strike
hmm
before I let him loose. And the guys who have a good eye, like over 50 on their eye rating, because I go 1
hmm
to 100, I don't
right,
do the 20 to 80. So if
right,
a guy's over 50 on his eye rating, I'll probably just trust him and say, yeah, go ahead. You can run
go
the at
ahead.
bat the way you want it. But for guys who don't have a good eye, I'll probably have them take a strike before I turn them loose. And I don't think there's too many foul balls. I think there's actually very few. But I could be missing the foul balls because I run, single pitch mode for at least half of the batters.
Yeah,
So
I haven't noticed it either, but I will pay close attention. I haven't played out of the park in about a week or so, so I've been just doing other stuff, other
pitch
baseball, if
counts
you
don't
will.
seem high. I will say that the pitch counts seem pretty normal.
Yeah.
It's a fine game. I mean, obviously we know Out of the Park is a fine game,
Oh yeah.
and these are just really minor quibbling kind of things. They're not really like a big deal in the grand scheme of things. But if you want to count those, because especially when you're talking about eras where more little ball than other eras, if
Right.
you're not counting sacrifice, but yes, you intend to sacrifice, but if you're safe and there's no error and there's no
That's a
fielder's
base
choice,
hit.
that's a base hit, and you
Yeah.
got to count it as such. You can't only count a base hit when you're trying to bunt for a single. I don't think that's correct. So that's something that probably needs to get worked on.
Hey, Mark, welcome in. Yeah, it definitely does. Did it credit him with an RBI at least? I would hope it did
Oh yeah,
that.
I got an
Okay.
RBI on the squeeze bunt that scored the
Okay.
run. Yep,
So
but not a hit.
what season are you playing?
I've been playing several.
Okay.
I was just using the '84 Dodgers, and just because they weren't a very successful team, about a 500 team, but they had a great pitching staff.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing curious about '84, just to kind of tag on to that, is that
Sure.
the Pirates led the league in ERA. They led the National League in ERA and finished last. And I've
Yeah.
never seen that happen with any team.
Only
And
in Pittsburgh, brother.
obviously their offense was pretty feeble, but I've never
Yeah.
seen it so bad to where you lead the league in ERA and you finish last.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
they didn't have a terrible record. I think they were 75 and 87, which
No,
isn't
it got
terrible.
worse in
Not terrible.
85 and 86. Yeah.
Right.
85 and
85 and 86
86
they
was
struggled.
god awful.
Yeah.
Struggled.
85 I
You're
think they
being
sold
really
the team.
kind.
I think 85 they sold the team, the Pirates. I think the longtime owner sold them in
Yeah,
85. I
that's
can't
when it
remember
went
what his
to
name was.
Kevin McClatchy, who was the owner of the Sacramento Bee, I guess it was.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, McClatchy wasn't afraid to spend some money, and I
Hmm.
think Sid Thrift. I think did he become general manager in '86? I think it was,
Yes, he did.
and
He did.
yeah, and then
That's
Thrift
why he
making that.
hired hired Leland to
Yeah,
manage.
yeah, things started to come together for us, and um, this is the first season in a long time that Pirates. A lot of Pirate fans are kind of going overboard. I'm guardedly optimistic about this year. Guardedly optimistic at this point.
Yeah,
Just
well, I think sad to say it, I think that the Pirates are waiting for next year, and I don't know. I think they're one of the ownership groups that's looking forward to locking out the players, and the owners wanting more of a share or wanting a salary cap or something like that.
well, we've
You
talked
know,
about that before. I think baseball needs a salary floor,
of course,
and
obviously they do.
yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, because Nutting is wanting to spend money on this kid Connor Griffin. And I say, look, just dig deep and, let's start building around him. And I think they got to at least make an attempt to hold
Hmm.
on to Paul Skeens. So you guys, of course, are looking great this year.
Yeah,
The
but I
thing
mean,
about the Dodgers is, what are you going to say? You guys look
yeah,
great.
they
I
make the
mean,
most money, they spend the most money. The
yeah,
thing about,
yeah,
people talk about like competitive balance. It's not that spending the most money wins you championships, but
right.
it always keeps you in the hunt. You're
It does
always in
keep
the
you in the
hunt.
hunt. It does.
There is no rebuilding period when you have that much money. You sign guys to fill your holes, and then you go on and stay in contention year after year after year. And
So Mark telling us here, he said he saw the athletic ranking of every Major League Baseball team. Pirates are still
mhm.
ranked pretty low. Orioles were third behind Los Angeles, and the Yankees, which was a little surprising.
That is
Um,
surprising. Do they list any kind of reason why they had him third? Just wondering.
yeah, I'm wondering where the Tigers rank because the Tigers are they're tough team. They're just they're falling short. They're falling short. But
Hmm.
the Tigers, yeah.
In
Sorry,
that
batting
division, they'll win.
lineup.
They'll win that
Okay,
division.
the
They'll,
Tigers, yeah,
they'll
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't
Um,
think Cleveland is quite there. They're not. They're
no,
just not
no, they're
not
not.
getting the job done.
They're not.
Um, I'd like to see the Guardians do something because they're not that far from Pittsburgh, and we don't have that rivalry with each other in baseball that happened in that other sport. So,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, so but he
The
says this
Browns
was
and
batting
Steelers.
ram.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So Mark's
yeah.
saying so guys, if you basement box scores, got to subscribe to that channel, please. It's really good
All right,
stuff.
let
It's a
me.
five man collaboration there with
Oh,
some
really?
good folks there. Yeah, it is.
Let's
Yeah.
see. All right,
So
let me go ahead and take a
um,
look here.
yeah. So good stuff. Yeah, it's way too early to. It's just people are talking about Connor Griffin. Just to go back to the Pirates for a minute. I mean, this kid's a five-tool player, serious power, and a lot of Buccos fans want him to be on the major league roster on opening day. I think he needs to do a little bit of time in AAA first. Where the games are counting now. I mean, it's one thing in spring training, and I realize at the end of spring training, there are guys trying to break camp with their clubs, but even in AAA, right? In minor leagues, standings do count, even though you don't know when the big club's going to yank somebody out of there. But everybody at that point, at that level, you're trying to get to the show. So I'd like to see how he does first, and then bring him up. Then bring him up. But we'll see. I think the Pirates made some good moves. I think they're gonna surprise people this year. I really do. Do I think we're gonna? No, we're not. That's why I'm saying guardedly optimistic. We still have the problem of O'Neill Cruz and his lack of bat control. Um, if he hits the ball, it's going to go, for miles, but that's a big if.
Mhm.
And Kyle Schwarber can get away with it, but O'Neill Cruz really can't right now, I don't think. So, anyhow, how do you feel about the ABS system, JT, in baseball? Do you like
You
it?
know,
Not like it?
I like that it's limited. Um, I think you only get two. If you get
Mm-hmm.
them both wrong, you're done.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair enough way to implement it. Um, I saw it, and unfortunately, it was the lady umpire where there was
Mm-hmm.
a ball right down the middle, and she called it a ball. And I said, "Oh boy, that's not going to build your case."
No,
I
not at all.
I wish that the ABS could somehow tie into some kind of umpire evaluation, but I just don't think the problem here is that the umpires are not being held accountable for their bad calls. It's
Well,
just like in
that's certainly
players, they
true.
should be sent down to the minors if they're not good. If they're the worst umpire, if you're the worst, there should be relegated to the minors.
That's a great idea. That is a great idea. And in fact, and it's an obvious idea if you think about it,
Mhm.
because Angel Hernandez would have been sent back to rookie league baseball as bad as he
Oh
got,
my goodness.
if
There was a
that.
there was a great meme where on your phone, like on an iPhone, it says missed call, and somebody put Angel Hernandez and made him a contact says missed call Angel Hernandez, and like three or four or five on the lock screen. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, Mark, I'm going to take that as actually a good omen. He said Pirates are ranked number 21. Well, considering the man who wore number 21, I'm going to take that as a good omen.
Uh,
And I think we got some surprises for folks this year. Again, um, we'll see. But yeah, that's why umpires. Because I mean, because the only way as an umpire you're going to make it to the majors is when somebody retires. Pretty much, that's it. Why not move them down a little bit?
I don't want robot umps. I want
Yeah,
human umpires to be held accountable,
yeah,
and that's not what's happening. I want the humanity still in the game. I want
yes.
people still involved in the game, but you know, obviously ABS has come, from the outcry of umpires missing calls, and we have proof of how many they missed over the last 7 to 10 years.
They
We're
miss
keeping
calls.
track of that kind of stuff. Yeah, missed calls.
I
And the
get that,
usual
but
suspects were the ones who were missing the most calls. Angel Hernandez, CB Bucknor. There's
hmm
quite a few others that were just they were when Joe West was still an ump. I mean, boy, talk about a guy who went on too long. I like
hmm
Joe, but it's
yeah,
just, and he's gotten his feelings too many times. He turned into a really grumpy old man there,
hmm
and he's just making a big scene of himself, throwing out guys, and I just I think that if he was the one missing more call, like as many calls as anybody, he didn't have a good record at calling. So I figured like some of these guys need to be phased out. And if you do well in the minor leagues, maybe you can come back. But I think the best umpires should be the ones that are in the major leagues and in the
Hmm.
postseason. I don't think it should be based on seniority. If you're not good, I think the best umpires should be put in the tough situations, just
I
like
Yeah,
just like players.
yeah. And that's the
If you're
thing
not,
too, right? These things, I mean, because umpires have to, they got to go to school, do the whole thing, and I mean, they're under a lot more scrutiny than referees and such in the other three team
Mhm,
sports.
they are
But and I get it, and I mean, partially because of just the nature of baseball, and it being that sort of weird mashup of a team sport with that individual confrontation and where
right.
the players are spread out. But historically, I mean, major league umpires have largely, if we, you're always going to have people that are just bad in any field of endeavor. I mean, I can tell you about some people that are professional magicians that really should be, I don't know, taking up crocheting or some thing like that. But I like, to your point about the humanity of the game. Um, I'm just hoping that baseball, and indeed any of the sports, I'm a little afraid of like somebody's going to get this brilliant idea of, uh, you know, after messing with the umpires, what else are they going to have an AI score games as they go along? I don't know. Mark says missed calls happen. Yep. So what's the cutoff point? What percentage? We say we want it to be human, but we're asking humans to be perfect, and can't be. Those two things are mutually exclusive. And I think that's to your point as well.
Mhm.
The umpires union isn't nearly as strong as it was, and for baseball, that's a good thing, says John. So, so what do you think? Do you think it's just baseball just being old fashioned, and or was it just maybe the thought never occurred, JT, to
I think there's a
say,
lot of time to
got to send
analyze
you
calls,
down?
and there's a lot of time to analyze and scrutinize calls because of
Hmm.
the pace of the game. And I think
Right,
that that has a lot to do with it.
right.
Like calls get replayed, and you have the time to sort of react to the replay of a call. More
Hmm.
so, I think, than you do now. I mean, in football, there are calls that the fans can react to, and
Right. But
it's
those guys aren't going through. I've read about this, and they don't go through like this, like training. This whole thing that umpires go through.
mhm.
And I'm actually surprised the little I do know about American football that actually these referees don't get more wrong than they do, because
Mhm.
it's kind of like more of a, hey, you get to be a referee, but they're not full time. That's not their job. Football referees or and football umpires and line judges, that's not their jobs. Like a baseball umpire, that's his job. You know, I mean, football, what, however many games they play. So, I mean, the season itself still is over a number of months, but they're working once a week, Whereas an umpire is working, every umpire in the major leagues is I mean, except for rainouts or whatever, he's working 162 games in a long grind. It's pretty tough. They go through a ton of training. Okay. You know,
I
uh,
I
but
remember I
it's,
watched a movie about Bobby Valentine managing in Japan,
uh huh.
and he was shocked to see that umpires practiced like calling balls and strikes. Like there's a guy supervising a younger umpire and showing him the layout of the strike zone and how to call the pitches.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
when Valentine was asked about big league umpires, he said, "No, they practice during the game. They don't practice like this, outside of the game." So,
Right.
take that for that what you will, but to talk to respond to basement box scores about how tough it is to be an umpire, it's super tough because neither team is going to think that the umpire is doing a good job.
Oh yeah,
Nobody's
you're
going
going
to
to be
rate the
hated
umpire.
half the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's impartial. It's like when people say that Joe Buck roots against their team because he's calling it down the middle. They're used to broadcasters on their local broadcast that are kind
Yeah.
of glorified fans that root
Yeah.
for the team. Well,
Yeah.
obviously, a national broadcaster can't root for either team, so a lot of
Hmm.
their fans think oh, he just wants us to lose. He's rooting against us, and that's not true.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
trying to be impartial.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's why umpires always have a bad rap because nobody's going to think they're doing a good job.
as far as umpires, I can't speak to football, but as far as baseball, how long they've been, yeah, well over a century. Yeah, like 150 years worth. And if you go back to the 19th century, there was a song, "Please Don't Shoot the Umpire. He's doing the best he can." And the song was written in the days when people had firearms in the ballpark, and you know, all kinds of other crazy things. So, yeah, but thank you for the correction. I hadn't realized they had gone through extensive training. I still think, though, they're both tough gigs. I get it. But I guess considering the season, that let's say officials in like basketball, hockey, and baseball, those are you're doing multiple games in a row. Baseball being the big grind, I think, of the three. But yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, you're never universally loved if you're an official. Let's put it that way. I would agree with that. So John says the 1997 Marlins thought Eric Gregg was a great umpire. Oh my, I don't know. But then you get
And
the
the thing
other.
about it,
Yeah,
Greg said I was consistent the whole game, but you were calling him bad consistently the whole
right,
game.
well, bat.
That was
Yeah,
the problem. I
yeah,
mean, you can't call a strike zone the size of a Buick. I mean, you can't. Those
no,
pitches were so far outside; they're almost unhittable. And
yeah.
he's calling them a strike. And I said, that you can be consistent as you want, but you're consistently wrong, and that's a problem. So,
So how
because he
does
tried to defend it by saying I was consistent, I called it the same way for both sides, and
so I wonder how does baseball institute a sort of? I mean, they've tried some sort of accountability, but it's not. It seems to me at least that right there is, as you say, there's not that penalty of look. We're seeing that you have this this percentage of bad calls, and again, maybe consistently bad calls. You need to get down to double A for a little while. Do you think that that would be something that I wonder how you would implement something like that though?
well, I don't know how powerful the umpires union is.
According to John, not is not as strong as it was.
Well,
He says so.
I mean, I feel like if you keep a record of their bad calls, if you keep a record of the percentages, and these are the worst percentages, worst umpires percentage wise, I think you have justification to send them down to the minors and
Right.
call up people in the minors who have done the best job. Now, I don't know if they track calls in the minors, probably not. I don't know if they have the money to hire people to keep track of it or what they can do. Maybe they can automate it. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I feel like bad umpires shouldn't be in the major leagues for very long.
No, I mean you're right. I mean and there were great umpires in the game. Guys are in the Hall of Fame, as umpires. And
Yeah.
again, now, one could possibly argue that yeah, that we didn't have the technology to check up on Bill Clem, but it seems the consensus among players of his day, and if players are saying, yeah, this man's a great umpire, he's fair. I mean, that's what players are looking for. Be fair, keep and so keep. If you're going to have the strike zone, it's that consistent strike zone, and call the plays. And I mean, the one thing I was kind of against replay at first because the rule was the umpire's rule stands, but I have gotten okay with the fact that there can be reviews of plays in baseball. Um, you know, but luckily there's also a check on that. You can't just call, if you just let that go with no restrictions, managers going to be calling replays on everything. Also remember that the box we see on the screen is relatively new. Absolutely, Mark. It's become the standard for balls and strikes, but the rule book, yes, it doesn't have a box. It's more nuanced. Belt to knees, right? Yeah, belt to knees. Well, it used to be letters. It used to be letters back in the old days.
Yeah, I think it numbered to knees, top of the numbers, something like
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
remember the Astros back in the 80s. You remember they used to have that tequila sunrise rainbowish kind of effect on their jerseys. They
Mm-hmm.
got rid of that. They went from they got rid of that rainbow effect on in front of their stomachs because they felt like they were being rung up too many times by bad calls. Like the rumor was it made their strike zones bigger because
Mm-hmm.
the umpires were using that rainbow as a basis to border the strike zone.
Yeah.
And so they wore solid whites at home with just the rainbow effect on the shoulders. That's why they changed it, according to what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but I found that to be understandable if it was true.
Well, the other thing too is when the two leagues were autonomous, right? Pretty much, the strike zones apparently were different, and even well, of course, the style of baseball back. So let's go back to the 1970s. The umpires were wearing those, holding those big balloon protectors in the American League. In the National
Right.
League, they were wearing what all umpires wear now. But
Hmm.
apparently,
It
because
was making for a high strike
right,
because of the
right,
big
right,
balloon. Yeah, the high strike was in the American League. Classically, that was, and I thought that was cool. I liked that the two leagues had different strike zones, different
yes,
rules, different
oh yeah,
umpires. It made it cooler. Now, I don't even know why they're called National American Leagues now. They're the same. They just call them conferences like they do in the
hmm
NFL.
you read my
It's just
mind,
all
yeah,
under one umbrella. Yeah, it's one umbrella now. It's all homogenized. That's
yes.
one of the things about the modern day, the contemporary, like the 2020, the 2010s. Everything's getting more and more homogenized. It's all the same,
hmm
and it doesn't make it very cool. I guess it's a consistent product, but
But again,
I
we've
kind
talked about that earlier. Something could
yeah,
be consistent and be awful,
yeah, yeah,
right? Yep, even where
yep.
their protectors are different. Absolutely, Mark.
Hmm.
John says he went to a minor league game last year and he didn't mind the ball strike challenges. Found it interesting. As again with that limitation, and if you lose that first one, it's lost. That's it. So
I don't mind it, and I think maybe it's going to let people know how hard these umpires, what's
yeah,
expected, because some of these misses are by like millimeters. Like, how in the world? How in the world do you get? They're so it's so close that you're just like, wow, how on earth could anybody get that with the naked eye? And that's why the ones that they like, some pitches are technically missed calls by the umpire, but they're right on the edge of the zone, and I don't
right.
count those as mistakes because I'm like, that could go either way. They're
Well,
right
I
on
think
the edge.
I mean umpiring is an art and a science, right?
Yeah,
And
it is.
and as
It's
Mark
hard.
points out, that box we see, that's not like
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that right. That's not the codified strike zone, if you will. And I let into your comment. I think it's right. I mean, most of us, right? I mean, we've all yelled at umpires. Let's face it. We've all booed.
right.
We've all this and that. If you take away the guys, and let's just take even the guy that just does. He shows up and he just does a good job every day as an umpire. There's got to be a correlation, now because people are aware of just how bad. And when Angel Hernandez first started, he was actually a very good umpire. I just watched a documentary on him,
I think
and he was
reflexes
actually
and
good.
eyesight just gets worse as you get older, just like with players. I think
Exactly.
you just, I think you just get older. To answer basement box scores, I would be fine without ABS. I don't blame you for thinking it sucks. What I'll ask you is, what do you think about computerized, like, to determine whether saves in tennis are out or in? I think now it's an automatic thing. They don't get called by a person anymore.
Oh wow.
It's an electronic relay that determines whether your first serve or your second serve is good. I don't think they judge it with people anymore. Now I could be wrong, but they go to some kind of ABS to make sure a ball is in or out. I
So
do know
Pete
that.
McEnroe would not like would
John
not want to be
McEnroe.
playing
Oh,
today,
John
would he?
McEnroe would hate it.
Or John
John, yeah,
McEnroe. I mean, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Don't know
the
why I was saying
umpires
Pete
were
McEnroe.
bad in his day. The umpires made terrible calls. I've seen
Yeah.
John McEnroe's matches like
hmm
over again in YouTube, and oh my God, there's some terrible calls. And you're just, I don't blame him now. I'm like, I would be like that too. I said, you guys are the pits of the world. And that's what he said to one umpire. He said, you guys are the pits of the world. And I'm like, well, I mean, I can't really argue about it.
Yeah.
They punished him for stuff, and he's just like, it's like they didn't know the rule book, or they had like an axe to grind with them. Like maybe John said something that hurt their feelings.
Right.
No, they don't. It's all electronic. I don't care that much about tennis, and baseball is such a human thing. Fights with umps. Yeah, I get it. But you know how many times you see an umpire argue with a manager now? It
hmm
just doesn't happen anymore with the replays thing. And
Yeah.
I liked arguments like that. I think the
You and Mark are on the same. If you read his comment, you guys are pretty
yeah.
much on the same page here. And
Oh,
I
I
like
don't.
that. Fights with umps, yelling and kicking dirt is building the
Yeah,
DNA of the sport. Just imagine Earl Weaver
yeah,
now.
Yeah,
Tommy Lasorda,
that's the
they
first
would
guy I
be like,
thought of.
what?
Earl Weaver.
Earl
Earl
Weaver,
Weaver
yeah,
would get kicked out of games to inspire his team.
yeah.
He said, if anybody gets kicked out, it should be me. I'm not going up there and getting hits and what have you. But
John McGraw used to get kicked out to go to the horse track, but still, what a great manager he was. But
see, that's
he
what we
would get
just
ejected.
yeah. That's what we disagree on basement box stores. Is I'm not a big fan of the clock. I don't think it was even necessary. I think there are a few guys that were slow, but I think people just made it worse than it was.
Oh,
If it was 20 seconds with nobody on and 25 with a runner on, then I'd be more of a fan of it. But 15 seconds is just I think that's too little time.
yeah.
With the bases empty, 15 seconds is just it's too quick. It's got to be 20, I think.
Well, the thing that I hate most are two things. Is I hate the limited throws to first. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
But
it's
even
illegal to hold runners on now. It's
right,
illegal.
and the elimination of the shift. Give me a break. You know what? Baseball worked. Baseball worked, and I'll ask Mark, and I ask everybody this many times. Is how many of you got any communique from the office of the commissioner of the baseball, right? Because they say, oh, we asked the
Yeah, we asked
fans
our fans. Yeah, yeah,
and we listened. Nobody asked
yeah.
for, oh, let's make the bases the size of pizza boxes. Let's let the
Mm-hmm.
pitcher only throw over a few times. What is it,
Right.
two or three times or something?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get rid of the shift because it's not fair. Ted Williams
Let's
was
have ghost
fine with
runners.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Ghost Runner thing. So here's my question: How? So Mark, you do like the elimination shift. Why is that? Ted Williams was fine with it. I mean, the Cardinals hard shifted him right, and Williams could have just bopped one into left field, but he didn't. He said they're playing their game. I'm playing mine. I'm just curious, Mark, what your reasoning is. No wrong answers here, man. It's just a good conversation. Um,
Well,
uh,
and I mean, he
David.
says also based on box score says the data shows that games are faster and more efficient. Does that mean better? I don't know. I never really thought about time. When I was at a baseball game, I just enjoyed the game. I didn't say, "Wow, we've been here for 2 hours," or "About that's unacceptable to be here for 3 hours." I don't know. I never was in a hurry to go home, or I'm never in a
Neither was
hurry for
I.
the game to end. I'm just, yeah,
That's
we can
that's
talk. Yeah, let's talk.
That's
I'm
why
good.
I miss the old fashioned way of doubleheaders because now it's owner's greed, right? You've got
Yeah,
doubleheaders separated by 7, 8 hours. No, man, do it
yeah.
like And as far
Give,
here's other data that will show.
give me
Yeah,
45 minutes and then go back out there
yeah,
and play
45 minutes
another
to
game.
back out there. Yeah, Mark,
Yep.
let me get you on here. I just got to put the link back up here in the chat. Um, the that and that's just do it. So also the average time of a dead ball era game baseball is between an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes. But there wasn't commercials and there wasn't all that bullshit. They just got it done.
Well,
But again, dead ball, that's a different tactics, different strategies in dead ball baseball. But it was definitely a faster game. Mark, just click on that link and I'll do the rest, buddy. Be great to have Mark Ungar
John
here.
DFW, as far as Major League Baseball attendance and revenue, it's grown since COVID wasn't a thing. I think it's misleading to look at those numbers. Before COVID, the numbers were just as good as they are now. And we didn't have the pitch clock, we didn't have those restrictions. I think COVID cut into attendance and now we're recovering from it. And of course the numbers are only going to go up. They had to go up from zero in 2020 and then 2021 it started growing exponentially or not well growing steadily. And
Mark,
they're right
Can you
around
hear
where they
me?
were in 2019.
yeah, man. Welcome
Hi there,
aboard,
Mark.
Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's great to have you on. So, Mark, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, JT. I just didn't want to
No,
lose
it's
Mark
fine.
while I was, yeah. So,
No
Mark,
problem.
why are you happy with the shift thing?
Because I think what happened was they've gotten so good at analytics
Mm-hmm.
that they were positioning guys in such a way that to me it killed the spirit of the game. So a third baseman became a shortstop, became a second baseman. Back when you had like the Lou Boudreau shift,
Mm-hmm.
uh, things like that, it was a rarity, and it was sort of a novelty, and it was sort of a brilliant way of playing very specific players, but it
Mhm.
became so common that I feel like it was just changing the game too much.
How are you about limited pickoffs?
I don't like that. I mean, I
Okay.
get why it's there, um, but I feel like in the same way I feel like the Ghost Runner was just silly.
Well, the
Like,
Ghost Runner's stupid. I think we can all agree on that. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's just little league.
I
That's
mean,
that
how the hell do you even score that? Yeah,
that's
we did
Madden.
that as kids.
Right,
Ghost
exactly.
Runner on second.
Right, right. Don't hit the car on the left.
Yeah, don't hit the
Um,
car on the left. Yep.
Yeah,
um,
with the Ghost Runner, I mean, you don't even need to earn a run. You just bunt a guy over to third, sack
right,
fly, and
right.
you haven't even gotten a hit. You haven't gotten a walk. You've done nothing but make outs, and you win
Yeah.
a game off of that. That's pretty lame. And as far as
Right.
the shift, uh, your name's Ken.
Mark.
I'm sorry, Mark. Is that you, Mark? Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. As far as the shift goes, I'm fine with moving guys over. I just wanted the infielders to stay in the infield and the outfielders to stay in the outfield. Don't position the second baseman in short right field
Which
to
is
cut
what you
down line
had.
drives.
Which is
Right.
what
So
you had during the
I
era of all the shifting.
yes,
Right.
yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
When
mean,
David
I'm
Ortiz
fine
comes
with
up,
that.
don't play him in
Yeah.
short right field to take away a single to right. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think that's right. I don't think you should have four outfielders out there unless it's got a scenario like I don't know. I remember they did four outfielders for Jim Rice back in 1978. I remember Whitey Herzog, the manager of the
I kind
Royals.
of remember that too, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, because he had so many doubles and triples. They were like, "We don't care if you hit a single, man. You take first base, but we're going to stop you from hitting a double." I think I would just rather if you're going to have a guy in the outfield, he's got to play kind of straight away in the outfield. But I don't know if I had a choice, I would keep it to three outfielders and four infielders, and
Oh, but
don't
allow
don't
any shift. But allow
But
any
yeah, you
shift.
can move over. You can
Yeah.
have three guys on one side of second base.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
Well, that's
Right.
and that's what the Cardinals did in 1946, and they asked
Hmm.
Ted Williams about it, and he said they're playing baseball, and
Right.
we know. I mean, come on, Williams arguably the greatest hitter, pure hitter in baseball history. He
Sure.
could have just put little flares out into left field all the
He could
time,
have.
but
And it
no, he
was
said, they're playing their game. I'm going to play mine, and
and I
he
mean
said
look at
they,
the nature of Ted Williams. Look at his makeup. He's not going to alibi. That's just not
no,
in his nature.
Right.
no,
Of course he's going to say, "Yeah, they have every right to do that." And I played
yeah,
poorly in that World Series. That's Ted Williams. If you're going
yeah,
to say that you're the best damn hitter who ever lived, you
right,
can't you can't cry about, "Oh, they played me over here." You can't do that.
no,
They're not compatible. You
I
know,
mean,
if you're the best hitter who ever lived, you better find a way to punch through that. And that's what he
exactly,
tried to do. I remember he laid down a bunt in that series or something like that, and that was a big story. Like, wow, Ted Williams bunted,
yeah,
But
I think what we're talking about is the purity of the sport
yeah,
versus the efficiency of the sport.
yeah,
The what's the word I'm looking for? The the sort of the evolution of the sport.
right,
And so when you talk about things like the DH, you
mhm,
know, the
ooh,
first year that I remember actually paying attention to baseball, I'm pretty sure was the year the DH started.
73,
In
yep,
73, right? Which was I was
yep,
like 8 years old. It was the kind of the time when you start to like get aware of things outside of building blocks and
right,
play school toys.
right,
Um, and so for me, I always thought it was really cool that the AL had a DH, the NL didn't, and when they
right.
met in the World Series, that created interesting dynamics. But I got
mhm.
to tell you, especially playing replay games, I love not having the DH.
So do
Totally.
I.
You know?
Same.
I don't mind it
Um,
either way. I like it. I think it's cool that the American League had different rules. And as we
well,
talked about earlier, I
but
just
that
thought it
goes
was cool
back
the
to
American League was a whole different league. It was different.
Yeah, because that goes back to sort of the early history of baseball,
Right.
where
Right.
there were all these different leagues, and
Yep.
they did have their own way of presenting things, and that lasted until I guess maybe 5-10 years ago, where
Right.
Yep.
where where there was some degree of separation, but it was sort of inevitable that baseball was going to come together and realize, wait, we're actually a 30-team league,
Right.
and we're all playing the same sport with the same ball. So maybe we
Well,
should, consider making the rules the same.
So what do
I
you
don't
guys
know.
feel about the so I'm going to say off the bat, I hate the balanced schedule. I miss divisional play. What are your guys'
I
thoughts on
don't
that?
like it either. I
Oh,
can't stand
I
it.
hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it.
What
It
about you,
Too
kills
many
John?
rivalries.
Because I know John, you were talking about the rules. What do you think about the no more divisional play and everything equal? So go ahead, guys. Sound off, please.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it kills a lot of the rivalries. It kills the intensity
Hmm.
of having to win games within your division. It's
Right.
kind of like if the NFL gave up the idea that you have to play the teams in your division twice. You
Hmm.
know, it's killing that. It's
I'm almost
supposed
of
to
the
be
mind that you might as well not even have divisions. Just group them by
right,
league.
right, exactly, right. I mean,
Yeah.
Mets, Phillies,
Yeah.
Cubs, Cardinals,
Yep.
Orioles, Red Sox, Orioles,
Yep.
Yankees. That stuff
Dodgers,
Right.
has like
Giants.
weight. That
Yeah.
has history.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And I
Nobody
I
mean,
cares.
you're
Nobody cares about Orioles, Astros.
I love playing the
right.
Giants so many times during a season because it just fed the hate. The games were all intense. They played each other so often they didn't like each other, and I'm
Right,
Right.
glad they
right.
don't like each other. That's what I
Are you
want.
in? Are
You
you in
know.
LA?
Yes, I'm an LA fan, Dodger fan all my life.
Is that where you live, or that's?
Yeah, I live in Southern California.
Oh, great.
I started out as an Angel fan because my dad taught me baseball and that was his team, but the Dodgers sort of seduced me before I turned 10 and I switched over to them. But I've always been a Southern California guy with my teams.
So John also saying he doesn't like the schedule with every team playing every other team in the major leagues. There should be much more division play.
Much
Yeah.
more division play.
It meant something
And
too. You know that the stakes are higher because of you're moving up a game, down a game, what have you. And now
but then
it's
again,
just
I don't like the wild card either. I think only division winners. Now I realize
I hate
they'd
the
have to
wild
work
card.
something out because it's an uneven total per league,
Right.
because you got three divisions.
Yeah.
But if they had a way to do it, I wouldn't even want anybody. Like in
You
my
know,
leagues, nobody but division winners moves on. I don't.
Right.
I don't play the
that
wild card in
one,
my leagues.
that one to me is a tough one, and here's
Yep.
why. If
Okay.
you look historically, you see, teams that won their division by 2 games, 3 games. Were they necessarily better than the team that didn't win the division, or in some cases didn't win the league pennant? Not necessarily.
No, they
And
weren't.
right, and so to have a larger, a bigger field in the playoffs, it gives those teams an opportunity who may have sort of failed at the end because they had a guy injured for 2 days. I mean, which is also the beauty of baseball,
Yeah,
the
I
fact
think
that it
that's.
is
I
such
think
a
that's a
long.
part of the beauty of it. I think an underdog
Yeah,
team can win a division if they get hot at the right time. I mean, it's 162 games. I feel
I
like
know.
you've had enough time to sort of sort things out. I mean, if you can't win a division after 162 games, I feel like you don't deserve to go to the playoffs. That's just my own opinion. I think
I,
that's
I, I'm torn.
more than enough games.
I definitely see your point. I'm saying that I'm torn. I do like the idea that there are teams that you know couldn't quite get to the finish line in the regular season, but they're really talented. And also, I mean, unless I'm wrong, it seems like even with the wild card teams, the best teams do seem to rise to the top more often than not in the
I'm
World
just
Series.
afraid of the time where what was it back in the maybe the 2010s or 2000s, whatever, when the American League West was like just notoriously like weak. And was it
Oh,
the Rangers that were below
oh man, you're
500?
talking about 94. The
It
Rangers
could
were
be.
over 10 games under 500 and they were leading the division.
They were
And if
leading
they
the
had
division.
played
Yeah.
if they had played it out, if there was no strike, I think you would have had the first time where you see a division winner under 500 at the end of
Yeah.
the year, which would have been something else.
So
Um,
maybe that
and John,
strike did more
John DFW,
damage.
no, John DFW. The 93 Giants are one game out. I don't care how many games they won; they were one game out. The Dodgers finished one game out several times in my lifetime, and you know what we got? We got, hey, wait till next year.
That's true.
You know,
Even in midlife
if you're
crisis.
if you're one game out, the thing is. We've lost division races because of the wild card, and division races is
That's
something that
true.
you fight for all season, and then it comes down to down to the final games, and now there's no tension because like, hey, both of them are going to the playoffs anyway. It's
Well,
like no big deal. Why should we win? We'll just save
one
our best
option,
pitchers and go and save them for the playoffs because we know we're going regardless of where we finish.
one option
That's kind of lame.
would be to handicap the wild card teams a little bit more, so that
Sure,
they had a tougher road to climb
sure.
to get out of that. So yeah,
You know?
you got in, but now you have to win 3 games. They have to win one, or whatever it is.
Oh, there you are. Now I see you, Mark. I see your
that'd be an
indicator.
interesting. Yeah, I like that actually, because I can't stand the wild card. Even
Yeah,
and I realized my Pirates benefited from that in 2015. It was, I think,
yeah.
but
When you
I'm
rattled
like,
Cueto, yeah, I
right,
remember.
yeah, and but I was
Yeah,
like, no, I don't feel right about this. I
I
don't
don't
feel
like
right
it
about
either.
this.
The year the Dodgers made the playoffs because of the wild card, I think was '96, and
Hmm.
I didn't think they belonged in the playoffs. And you know, I wasn't mad when they got swept by the Braves in the
Right.
first round because I thought we don't belong here.
All
And
right,
you know, they were the
look
they
at
were a wild
'96.
card in 2021 too
Who
because
were
the
the two
Giants
best
won
teams?
107
Who were the
games
two best
and
teams
the
in
Dodgers won
'96?
106.
Who were
Yeah,
the two best teams in '96?
the two best teams,
Yeah,
oh, in the National League.
no, the
Um,
National and American League.
uh, Jeez,
Yankees and Braves.
was it the Yankees in the AL? The
Yeah,
Indians won 99 games in '96.
I
The
mean
Yankees won 92.
'96 was the year that the Orioles sort of got robbed on
Right, absolutely right.
that home run thing.
Yeah, yeah. The Jeffrey
The Orioles
Mayer
were real
home
good,
run.
but
Yeah,
The Yankees were every bit as good, and the Braves were the best team in the American League. So that World
National
Series
League.
was the
Braves were
Yankees
the best team in the National League by
National
far.
League, right? So,
Yeah.
that turned out to be the World Series that year. So there really aren't too many examples where, at least not that I can think of, where the two best teams arguably didn't meet in the World Series, even with the
Oh,
wild.
oh, I don't know.
All right, give me examples.
I mean, well, I mean, the Orioles in '96 were the wild card, and they beat the Indians, who had the best record in baseball that year in '96. And I thought,
Cleveland was
that's a
tough
best
in
of
the
five.
'90s, man.
Cleveland lost in a best of five. And I thought, that's not fair when these guys had the best record in the game, and now you have a bad game or two in the postseason, and it's all over. They had 162 games or in the Indians' case, 161 to show that they were the best team in baseball based on their win total.
In
Now, they
'96,
never faced the Yankees. The Yankees never beat them because they never faced them. The Indians had to play Baltimore in the first round because Baltimore couldn't play the Yankees because they were in the same division. Don't know why that was a determining
that was a
factor.
thing
Should
back
have been
then,
the
right?
Indians
Yeah.
playing. Well, I mean, I guess the Indians did play the Orioles, and they had the worst record of the teams that made the playoffs. But
Midlife
I,
crisis
I just
comes
find
in.
I always found it weird that two teams in the same division couldn't play each other in the first round of the playoffs.
He says
And
this is midlife crisis. This is how I look at it. There were 16 teams 50 years ago, and two teams made it. Yep. He says that he didn't like the expanded playoffs in '95, but now he says he wish it was like that again. He says buys suck in baseball, and he says shit. I'm old 60 years ago rather, but. Regardless of that, yeah, buys are a weird thing in baseball. It is a weird thing, man.
well, to win your
Um,
league, it's too many teams in the league to do it
Well,
now.
now it is. Now it is. You could do it
Yeah,
when there were 16 teams, but
back when it was
yeah,
eight
that kills
teams
the
a league.
10.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. Well, and I think baseball, looking to its own history. If you look at, we've got to get back to the 19th century, but when you see the collapse of the American Association, and you just had the National League, and it was so bloated, that attendance was just awful. You look at 1898, 1899, 1900. So Ban Johnson very, very shrewdly. It's like, okay, not that he was thinking of fixing the game. He wanted to make money, and did, and bringing in the American League in 1901. That bloat was gone. So now if you just have two 15-team leagues, and I realize divisional play means nothing, but having those, at least those monikers in there, people can at least have the illusion that their team's still in the running, rather than shit, we finished 12th this year, when you finished 12th anyhow. You know what I mean? But Yeah. I mean, you're never
Wasn't that blowed in the National League because they absorbed the American Association?
well. The American Association there was just basically the story of that was that there's a great book on it, by the way, that the Beer and Whiskey League or whatever it's called. I can't remember the exact
Yeah,
title. I have the book
the
behind
Beer
me.
and Whiskey League. I think that's what
Yeah,
it was.
it just financially couldn't
Yeah.
compete. I mean, the National League was as baseball is still the only legal monopoly in the United States. I mean, the National League really there's just a lot of that had to do with Albert Spalding. He was calling the American Association's bluff. He actually didn't have the financial wherewithal to crush them, but they put up a good front, and the American Association was suffering by that time. Interestingly, though, right, because their attendance was lower, it was a quarter to get into a game. You could drink beer and whiskey. They played Sunday baseball, but it
Right.
was so yeah, the upper crust that went to National League games. So, but
I think the
you're
American
never going to see. I
Association
mean,
reminds
baseball's
me
never
of.
going to back to fit, to 16 teams. We know that they want to expand baseball actually, which I'm not sure is a great idea.
No, I don't think it is now.
Why
I
would it
think
be?
the
Why
American
would it be a bad
Association
idea?
like reminds me of the ABA and WHA, the competing basketball and hockey leagues we saw in the '70s.
Right.
And
Beatles.
and th-
Why would expansion be a bad idea?
I
I just think there are too many teams in the first place. I think talent's diluted enough as
well, I
it
was going to
is.
say for me, Alex Raffini, who's a frequent member, he's a Paisan. We were talking about that, and it just feels, Mark, to me that especially when you look at like we were kind of just having this discussion because we were talking about the Hall of Fame and looking at just you got more player or you got more teams, more players, and it seems like the talent. Not knocking anybody that makes it to the majors, Mark. I mean, come on, that's
Oh,
you're the
that's not
elite of
it.
the elite. It's not it, but it is. I think it is. There's you're spreading it out more, and
I
now
think we need
if you
fewer teams, not more.
yeah, few.
That's
I
my
think there
honest
has to be
opinion.
some. Yeah, I think needs to be some contraction. You know.
Can I, can I give you my opinion on that?
Oh, please, please, of course. Open
Um,
forum, brother.
I
Open
definitely
forum.
understand what you're saying,
Hmm.
um, but I think you have to look at it. You have to sort of compartmentalize that and think
Okay.
about the various aspects of the sport and what we hope to achieve. You know, whether it's baseball or the sports sim hobby.
Hmm.
Like, is there a point where there are too many sports sim podcasts or sports sim YouTube channels? I mean, yeah, the more there are, the
But if
talent
you're
level.
tired of that, you can always get rid of the ones that you don't want to listen to or whatever. But you can't get rid of
Good point.
teams
Good point.
that
Good point.
are expanded into the major leagues. I just
But
think there
don't
are
you
too
think
many
that?
guys.
Don't you think that anything that grows the sport is good for the sport?
I
I
do,
just
Mark,
think I just
but
think the quality of
yeah.
baseball needs to be higher, and I think that will grow the sport in itself to that kind of quality. But
But also, don't you think the quality of baseball is as high as it's ever been?
I don't believe so. No, I don't. I think athleticism is higher than it's ever been, but I think there's just a lot of guys out there that don't have much baseball IQ. I see more stupid plays committed in this day and age than I ever saw in the 80s and 90s. And that's just that again, that's my perspective, my opinion about it. You
That's
could
really
be
interesting.
wrong,
No,
but
it
that's
is.
just the way I see it.
But can you give me some examples, like things
Like
you see
guys,
today
oh my
that you
gosh,
didn't
two
see in the
blands.
80s?
Two bland is slang for thrown out on the bases like a nincompoop. And I see so many two blands today. It's almost like it's honorable to get thrown out on the base pass. Like if you had a single to pick up a guy from second, and you get thrown out and tagged out on the way from first to second, but the run scores, you're looked at as like that's a positive thing. And I'm like, that run would have scored regardless of you getting tagged out in between first and second. You're just not thinking. You should have. All you had to do was stay at first. You didn't need to go and get yourself
I'll
out
play
just to
devil's
prove a point.
advocate here. Is that
Mhm.
them not thinking, or is that analytics?
I don't think it's analytic at all. I think it's kind of a macho thing. Like I'm giving myself up for the good of the team, and I
I
think
don't
too
think there's.
many guys. I
I
feel
don't
like
think
it
there's
makes they.
I don't think there's a player in baseball who's making those decisions for himself.
Oh, I
I
do. I
think.
think coaches promote it. I think they promote an
Well,
aggressive
right.
game.
So therefore, they're not making the decision for themselves. That's my point. My point
Well,
is that I
right.
think things like that that's determined in by the manager, by the front office, and I think that's based on analytics. That it's actually better to get that one run.
If
Um,
analytics says that you should be getting thrown out on the base pass, then that's a new analytics that I've never heard of.
and
I
I'm not
think
saying that I'm right,
I
but I'm
think
saying
guys are way too
I'm
aggressive.
saying I'm
I'll
saying
see
it's
a guy get
possible
thrown
that
out
I'm
at
right.
third base trying to stretch a double into a triple, and the broadcaster says, "Oh, I like that kind of play," and I'm like, "What are you talking? The man is out. It's a dumb play. He got waved in. I see people going from third on a contact play and getting thrown out by 2 feet at the plate. I don't know. I don't mean to like
No,
dominate the
no, look,
conversation.
look.
It's
I
something
mean,
that really
to
annoys
me,
me about
this is
watching
all
baseball
fair
today.
game,
I see a lot
and
of dumb
this is
base running today.
to me, this is
I see
all
guys
fair
not knowing
game.
which base to throw
All
to.
right,
I
all right.
I
I
don't
think
know.
this
I
is
think we're
all.
losing that baseball IQ.
I think this is all fair game, and what we're talking
Right.
about is exactly what we should be talking about.
Hmm.
And to me, it's fascinating.
Hmm.
It is
Um,
fascinating. There's no
but I
wrong answers here, man. It's open forum,
right,
man. Have
right,
fun. Yeah.
exactly, right,
Yeah, everybody's opinion
um,
is just as valid as everybody else's.
right.
I'm not discounting anybody. That's just my perspective.
And I just
You know.
find it. I mean, I find the whole thing really interesting. I mean, so many things have changed. The idea
Yes.
that like bunting like doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't.
Um,
Lost art. Lost art.
but also, bunting didn't exist for the Orioles in the '70s and the '60s, when they were weak, or the '70s
Well, because they
when
had
they
a
were
power
weak.
hitting team. When
And
Earl didn't have a power hitting team, he did bunt quite a bit.
what year did he bunt quite a bit?
1968 when he first came on. I think he came on in '68, and they didn't have much of an offense. And you
They
can
didn't
look
have
at his
much of an
bunting
offense.
numbers,
They had
and I
Frank
think it's
Robinson. They had Blue
'73.
Cow. Hold
They
on.
didn't have
They had
much
Frank
offense, and they
Robinson. They
bunted
had
quite a
Blue
bit.
Cowell.
Let me see.
Are you kidding me?
Let me see
They had an
here.
unbelievable offense.
Well, I
Um,
mean, Weaver was really about the load 'em up grand slam
Right.
and whatever.
yeah, but I mean,
And that was
'73 we
that
didn't
was
have a very strong offense. The Orioles were in the upper tier of the league in bunts.
okay.
Let's look at
Um,
72. 72 sacrifice hits. Okay, he was low in 72.
So when
Let's
was the
see.
last time you saw somebody like do it like a drag bunt? You know, I mean, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
There's. I
well,
mean, I think one
you
of the
see it
things,
every
if
once
I
in a
may,
while.
guys, that we have is baseball. I mean, our perception of the history of the game is we think of it as a very intransigent game. It's gonna stay rooted in this, but actually, it's made innovations. But over the course of that 150 years of the National League and the 126 now, or 125, I'm sorry, of the American League, but the changes have been like within this since the epidemic, right? There's been so many changes so quickly
That's
in
true.
baseball,
Yeah.
and I think we've gotten whiplash from it, whether we
Yeah.
like it or
That's
not.
true. Yeah.
Those changes, I mean, it took baseball forever, right? So the designated hitter was floated by the National League in 1902 and was turned down. So
Right. Yeah.
the thought was always in the undercurrent there for a while, even in the dead ball era, but it didn't come in until 1971 years later.
I mean,
But
look,
now, oh my God, look
if
what's changed, right?
if
Jeez.
baseball hadn't changed, there'd still be fans standing in the outfield. You know.
And then sitting in the dugouts and the Pirates with
Right. Right.
I mean, batting helmets, for God's sake. If batting
Right.
helmets had been allowed, Ray Chapman would have, of course, played his,
Right. Yeah.
but I think it's just been the amount and the short time span of all these changes. Good God, Ghost
No, you're
Rider,
exactly
blah,
right.
blah,
I
blah, blah,
mean,
blah. It's too much.
from the beginning of baseball to like 1968, I
Hmm.
think there were like three changes or four changes,
If
maybe
you were
five.
lucky, yeah. And the most
Right.
important being April 15th, 1947, with Jackie taking the field. But yeah, I
Right.
mean, it's crazy, and it's like, okay, could we like not have any more rules changes now? It's just too much. And I think, guys, and I'm not trying to monopolize, I'll be quiet here in a second, but I think
No,
that
don't.
sometimes with people will accuse baseball fans, oh God, it's nostalgia, it's nostalgia. No, I would hold that, and I'm not going to invoke dead ball baseball. I'm actually going to invoke 1970s baseball. The game worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
That was
You
the
had
golden age,
power,
in my opinion.
speed, pitching. You had it
Yep.
all in 1970s, right? And
Teams were
that
trying to
carried
win
into the
different
80s.
ways,
Yes, exactly.
and that's what made it so cool.
Yeah. So
You
so
knew the
you don't
Dodgers
have to.
wanted to win a certain way, and the Pirates wanted to win a certain way, and
Yeah,
the Astros,
Well,
because of their
and we
yeah,
ballpark,
found ways of doing
wanted to
it
win a
too.
certain way. Yeah,
and
Yeah,
that's true. And that's true
it was
with
really
other
cool.
sports too. I mean, look at
yeah,
basketball. If you think
yeah.
about basketball in the '70s, '80s, even early '90s,
Mm-hmm.
teams had their own identity,
Mm-hmm.
and it was built. It was based on who they had as personnel.
Yep.
So you had the bad boys of the Pistons. You had the Denver Nuggets scoring 140 points a game. Um, you don't see that as much. And again, I think a lot of that comes down to analytics. It comes
Me
down, and
too.
I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that's
Yeah,
just it's what it
it's
is.
just the reality of what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right, exactly. But I also think that, and this is just for me personally. I've been a fan of all four major sports my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be football first, baseball second, basketball, and then hockey.
Mm-hmm.
For me now, baseball is more important to me than football. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, then they were always kind of close, but
Uh-huh.
I feel like baseball is the one sport that feels as close to the way it did. I'm not saying it's the same, but
No.
it still feels closer to the '70s, which is my coming of age decade, than
Sure.
any other sport.
I'm a
I mean,
huge hockey fan, and hockey the skill level is definitely increased for sure. It's made for a different game, but that's
and
evolution.
actually, no, I was going to say hockey has actually come up for me because yes, it's changed and evolved, but it's still pretty much hockey.
It's
Basketball to
it's a
me,
little more civilized, is all.
Mhm.
well, it's
Well,
way
no,
more.
I mean, what coaches have realized now, it doesn't make any sense to have a guy in there who can face punch but isn't really a good player.
Right,
And
right,
and
right, right,
you're almost playing a man short or two men
right,
short
right.
when you throw in those guys.
Basketball to
So if
me,
he's a face puncher, he better know how to play too. And
basketball is like almost unrecognizable to me.
mhm.
It's all about 3 pointers.
Oh,
I would watch basketball with one rule change, and I think it's brilliant. It'll never happen, and it could just be my ego. But I think if you miss a 3 pointer, you should lose a point.
oh
I
wow.
Wow.
think that would change the
I think it'd be
entire.
much easier to just get rid of the three. I just don't think the three should be in basketball anymore. It's
Yeah,
it's
but
it's made
it's not
it,
going
Yeah,
anywhere.
but I think a lot of I think a lot of and I don't, again, not knowing much about basketball, but
yeah.
it seems to me that the casual basketball fans love those shots, those three
I don't
pointers.
know.
You
I don't
know,
know
I
what
don't
they
think that's
love.
true.
I don't
you
know.
Yeah,
don't think so? You got. I mean, I'm
well, it
deferring to
depends
you
on
guys because I don't
depends on the
follow
age.
basketball.
It depends on the age of the casual fan.
Okay.
Um, I mean, you see guys now they step back to
Yeah.
take the three.
It's
Nobody
all
attacks the
about
basket.
it's
No,
it's
there's
prime
no
real estate, and
there's
where
no
your
post
real
up
estate is, that's where you
game.
do business.
Yeah,
So now, vast majority of shots from beyond the 3-point line are right under
right.
the rim,
There's no
and
there's no there's no sky hook.
the
Um,
mid range is gone. It's
it's
just not a
gone,
good play.
totally gone. Yeah, yeah.
That 20-footer that we used to see so many times in the 80s and 90s, going extinct, like the dodo bird.
And
It's
I
all
think
about
I'm telling you,
threes and dunks,
if
and
if
that's
if, if a missed three cost you a point, it would make the game so much more interesting.
Hmm.
That
I
one simple change,
I
because
I don't know, man.
now it becomes a
I don't
thought
know.
process.
So do you guys think
Because
that
they do miss three sometimes.
so do you guys? I mean, and again, I'm asking you because I don't know crap about. I
Yeah.
really my knowledge, the three sports, pretty pitiful, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
Do you think that
Hey,
that's the
or
general
baseball here.
consensus among basketball fans that their people are getting fatigued of the emphasis on the 3 pointer? Is
I
that
I think
can't
is
the
that
answer
older
that.
happening?
I think the older head basketball fans
Well,
are
definitely older. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't. I mean, you got to understand something. I mean, when I
I mean,
first
James
came,
Naismith is going to recognize the game,
yeah,
that's for sure.
no
But
peach baskets anymore.
no
But
baskets, right?
when I became a fan of the Lakers, just put it this way: the Lakers, when I became a fan of them, they won the Western Conference Championship.
Hmm.
They hit 10 3-pointers all season long. Combined, the Lakers hit 10 3-pointers in the whole season. Now, you see that in a half. You could see a team hit 10 threes in a half.
Wow.
It's such a different game. It makes your head spin. Now, I don't follow it very closely. In the last 12 to 15 years, I've really kind of gone away from it, but you just got to, I mean, it was just about buckets, like we called them buckets, where you're like 6 to 15 foot shots, 6 to 10 foot shots, shots in the key, passing on the inside. We don't see much of that anymore. It's as Mark said, people will step back to take a three instead of shooting a two. It's
So
just
midlife here saying get rid of the baseline, three, move the arc out to the sideline, check in line. It would make it easier to defend because guys can't camp out in the corner and farther away be harder to make.
yeah. You know what, Midlife? I agree completely with that. I like that idea. I think it makes it much easier to defend. Because how many times? I mean, God, teams today they run their whole offense around corner shooters. That's just that's what they do. They spread the floor to get spacing. And yeah, they shoot so many threes. I'm probably understating how many threes they shoot in a game.
Yeah, he's
I
saying
believe it.
he says he feels 50 to 60 per game now. So
I wouldn't. I'm sure there's been 50 to 60 per game in certain games. Maybe that's the average. Like I said, maybe I'm understating it. But I mean, when I first became a Laker fan, they hit 10 all season as a team. So like once every 8 games or whatever, it was just not a thing.
I think the important thing for us as hobbyists,
hmm
sports sim hobbyists and sports fans is to not age ourselves out of all of these sports. So I think when we look at them and we say to ourselves, well, we don't like this, we have to ask ourselves why we don't like it. And if we have a coherent reason, then
hmm
that's great. If it's more like, well, I don't like it because I'm old, that's bad. But I think in basketball,
right,
it's just a completely different game.
right.
Um, and maybe the kids like it, and God bless them if they do. But you just have to acknowledge that it's changed significantly.
I
And
think
for
the
me,
NBA, the creativity in the game is gone because
right,
there's so many
exactly, yeah,
threes.
yeah,
You know, having to draw up plays that you didn't see, like you didn't know about, or and I
right.
think the problem in baseball is I think strategy's being phased out of the game. I just think
Well,
it's
it's
not a
all
place
home
for
runs and
strategy.
strikeouts. It's all
And
home
I,
runs
I
and strikeouts.
and I love
Yeah,
strategy. I love the strategy in the game. I love the pitcher batting, but as a National League fan, almost my whole life, I was used to that. I think it's a great challenge for a manager to have a guy who hits a buck 15 in your lineup and trying to navigate through a game with that. And like, should I pull this guy out? Well, then I lose his pitching,
and especially right because
or
you're
should
in a
I?
close game. Right? Do I want to
Sh-
give it?
yeah,
Yeah.
should I
But
take him out? But he's
what's
first.
funny?
He's
I
leading off the next inning, so I can pitch hit for him. But do I leave him in the inning? Do I leave him in to complete the inning?
Well, the other
You
thing
know,
is the DH. They've shown that the DH hasn't significantly, like it wasn't like run production really exploded with it. When you could still when the National League still didn't have it.
the only
So
reason the American League adopted it is because the National League was scoring more runs.
let me
So
ask
the
you guys.
American League needed to adopt it to get even.
Let me ask you guys this question.
sure,
With
Hmm.
all the sort of old man howling at the moon stuff that we're all
get
doing,
off my lawn.
um, and just be honest. When you
Sure.
do sit down to watch a baseball game that matters or a football
hmm
game that matters, you have a rooting interest.
hmm
I still get just as excited by watching amazing things happen on a field
Oh
or on
yeah,
a
yeah,
rink as I ever did. Do you guys
yeah.
feel the same way?
I do at least for me. I mean, it's still when it comes
John,
down
you?
to it. Yeah.
I do
Is it
now.
John? Is it John?
I don't get excited as much as I used to, and
As
I
often.
get I as often as I used to, and
Right.
I get annoyed more than I used to.
Hey,
But
Todd B, welcome
but
in.
don't you
So
still have those moments where you're like,
yeah, of
holy,
course you do.
this is
Oh
I
yeah.
just
amazing.
I just think they're fewer, and I think the times
I
I get
look at the
annoyed
yeah,
are greater.
I look at last year's postseason, Mark.
Yeah,
That 2025 World Series, one of the greatest
yeah.
of all time
I
since the
watched
World.
some
Yeah,
football
my
games last
God.
year
It's
that
up
were
there. Yeah, it's
unbelievable.
up there.
I
Yeah.
saw comebacks. I saw last minute. I mean, I saw amazing, and you see it every year. And that's because the love of sports is built into our DNA. And we can bitch and moan about this should be changed or this shouldn't be changed and all that. But at the end of the day, what we love is we love the sports. And we love playing these games. And whether you're playing, the 1972 Pirates or the 2025 Pirates, you
Yeah.
still, if if Skeens, if you're doing a 2025 replay and Skeens is about to pitch a no hitter, you're every bit as invested in that no hitter as you
Oh hell
were.
yes.
Yeah, that's my
No
And
point.
Mark,
hitter.
I like that you bring that up because and that's why I'm really excited about your documentary and the things that you talk about and the things that you're doing, because to me these are more than games.
Right.
This is like, and I'm not going to go so far as J. Henry Waugh here, but we're creating narratives, and so I get excited. Like I had an unassisted triple play last week, and I was like, oh my god, and I was just excited as if I saw it play out live. I've had only one no hitter on this channel. It was exciting, and I only had one cycle. Jimmy Fox did it, but it was a narrative, and I love creating those new narratives. I'm still learning baseball history. I'm a student of the history of the game. I'm not a
Clearly.
baseball
Yeah, clearly.
historian.
Yeah, same here.
But,
You
but,
know,
but you're well studied.
well, I mean, there's, it's again. I mean, that's like two PhDs worth of stuff ahead of me to understand about and learn about this game. Um, but
I'm gonna.
to your point,
Sorry, go
man,
ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say to your point. Of course I do. You get into October now. Again, I can't speak to. I'm the only person in this community that is a baseball only fan, so I can't speak to the other sports. I
I'm
understand
sure
where you're
you're not the
coming
only
from,
person. I'm sure you're not the
right?
only.
I haven't met anybody here yet that's a baseball only fan except me. I haven't, and I've been doing this community that I've right that we've built collectively here. I've been doing this since 2018, but I've been hanging around the YouTube sports gaming community since late 2016, and I've never met anybody else that's like, "Yep, I'm just a baseball only fan."
That is
But my
pretty unique.
point is,
Yeah, that is
so,
pretty unique.
it is. Yeah, I might be the only male in the United States and that's okay. That's all right. But I do get where you're coming from because I'm watching October baseball, and to me, there's nothing like it. And at that point, Mark, I'm forgetting about the bullshit rules. They're like everything that I've hated what Manfred and company have done to baseball.
Right,
I
right.
forget about it. I'm like, all right, I'm in
Except the
there.
Ghost Runner.
You
Never
know.
forget the Ghost Runner.
Oh well, the Ghost Runner's bullshit. It's
Right.
bullshit. Jeez. And
Well,
cussing's allowed on my channel because I'm never monetizing it. It's a family here, so
Well, now that you've told me that, you're going to hear a lot of fucks.
that's fine with me, man.
I think the
I may
fact that we that
Go
we
ahead.
get so excited about an impending no hitter or a great game, I
Yeah.
think that proves to me that we're not getting old and cranky. We still love baseball as much as we ever did. We love the essence of baseball.
Hmm.
I think there's just some
Yeah.
stuff. My thing was
Yeah.
baseball was never broken. I don't know why it needed to be fixed
Yeah.
with all this extra stuff. That's the only thing I don't like. Of course, when a guy's about to throw a no hitter, a guy has stuff like a Skeens does or like a Screwball does. I mean, yeah, it's exciting to watch. It's
It's
wonderful.
really exciting.
But that I think it's fewer. I get excited more. I see
I just,
fewer things that make me excited, and I think it's maybe the fate of knowing. Like the
I,
more we know about baseball, the more we see that's wrong. At least I do. I'm like, oh, they shouldn't have done that because this and this, and that's
Hmm.
maybe when I was younger and I didn't know so much as I do now. I got more excited and I kind of overlooked the other stuff because I didn't know better. But now the fate of knowing, it's almost like a curse of knowing, and it's like, oh boy, that was a mistake, and you
I
have
So
to
think,
Mark,
you recognize it. You're trained to
yeah,
recognize it.
I
Mark,
think
I gotta
that,
ask you this. When you're
sure.
done, I gotta ask you a question. It has to do with what I have up there, but please go ahead, and then I'll ask you
Yeah,
this question.
I kind of feel bad for the guys in our hobby who have, who are so tuned out to what's happening today. Um, and I'm biased, but particularly in baseball,
Hmm.
the greatest players I've ever seen, some of the greatest players I've ever seen in my life are playing right now.
Hmm.
Now, when you talk about like football, I'm sure that's true also, but the difference there is that's sort of the evolution of, and I guess it applies to baseball too, but not as much because you know it. Okay, so there are football players who are better than any football player we ever saw growing up, right? But that has to do with size and speed,
Athleticism. Yeah.
athleticism, right? And same with basketball. But baseball, you can be the most athletic human being in the world, but the purity of hitting a baseball, throwing a baseball,
Just ask
really,
Michael Jordan, right? Yeah,
really hasn't changed.
right.
And I mean, yes, there's better, they understand release points better, all that stuff. But when you see guys like Otani
Oh God,
and Skeens and Jason DeGrom, I mean, I can go back a
right,
few years.
right,
These
right.
guys
Well,
are fucking amazing
Yeah,
baseball
yeah, they
players.
are.
well,
Yes,
I
they
mean,
are.
just like any era, they have we there's great players. I mean, yeah, Judge is a great power hitter.
Yes,
I've
Judge. Yeah,
I've never seen a catcher hit 60 home runs in a season before, like Raleigh did last year. Uh, Otani, I mean, obviously a
Oh my God.
two-way player.
but you
Uh,
realize that
but I mean, again, I
we're
mean,
seeing a
I've seen
player who's
guys like
better. We're
Mike
seeing
Schmidt
a
and
player
Ricky
who's better
Henderson
than we're seeing a
and
player who's better than Babe Ruth.
Yeah. Well, you look at that
wow, I mean,
postseason performance, and look how long. And you know what? None of us may ever live to see a performance that 10 strikeout game and 3 home runs. Come on, that was just that. I think the Bambino reached
he's the
down.
first two-way player. Yeah, he's the
Yeah,
first
I
You
think
ma-
he
two-way
reached down
player.
and said, "Here we go," and boom, he did it. Yeah, I mean,
If
Otani, that
God,
was
Now, I
breathtaking.
think I think it's a little different for Ruth because he played a position.
it is
You know, he
different,
ended
yes,
up being an
but yeah,
outfielder.
it
Otani's a
is.
DH and a
But,
pitcher. It's a
but
little
you could
different.
make the argument that Otani is actually a more complete player than Babe Ruth was.
I think he's a
Right.
more complete athlete, of course, because
More
he's
complete athlete.
it's 100 years later. Yeah, I think he's a
Yeah,
more
But
complete
the fact
athlete.
that we're
I think
alive for that,
athleticism has evolved in the last century for sure. But again, I mean,
but what I'm saying is with baseball, I don't care how athletic you are. You still have to be able to hit a baseball.
yeah,
And that has nothing to do with that. I mean, well, not nothing to do, but it's still about hand eye coordination, which is not something that you can take juice for.
right.
Um,
right, right,
it's
right.
it is the purest of sports, and there are guys now who are doing it better than it's ever been done before, and that's to me so exciting and so amazing.
So
You know,
midlife crisis brings up something I've left on the screen, and Mark, this is germane to the documentary you're doing because we've laughed about this a lot on here. So he says, and this is back to the earlier point where you're talking about, are you invested? And we're talking about these narratives. This is in our draft league. The other day, he won Game 7 of his championship semifinal when Coco Crisp threw out Ichiro at home, who was the tying run to end the game in the series. We all screamed in Discord. And he said his wife, like he's like really fired up about this, and she says, "Yeah, I got it." She thinks I'm an idiot. So I've run across that too, and I don't know whether you're going to be if this is going to be part of your documentary or what, but if you think about what we do, whether it's digital or cards and dice sports games that we play, we have to look like idiots to an innocent bystander's wives or whatever. Um, and so I'm just wondering if that's something that you've given any thought to for your upcoming.
I
Uh,
have,
yeah.
I've also talked about it on our YouTube channel.
Hmm.
I don't buy the idea that we're idiots. I really don't.
Oh, I
You
don't think
know,
we're idiots, but I think we look like idiots.
well,
Is
no,
was
no,
my
no,
point
no.
to
I don't
them.
buy the idea that we look like idiots. I mean,
Okay.
I've been playing these games consistently, since I was a little kid.
Okay.
And I've dated women, beautiful women
Hmm.
who watched me play these games. I'm married to the most beautiful woman in the world who's watched me play these games for 18 years. She's
Okay.
never once looked at me like, wow, that's kind of weird what you're doing. She,
Okay.
she
Okay.
really hasn't. This is just this is one of my hobbies. This is one of the things that I enjoy.
Okay.
Um, and she gets excited and she gets happy when I'm excited and happy.
She's a
So
keeper, brother. She's a keeper.
yeah, she is.
Because like my girlfriends and my ex-wife, they're like, and they were all baseball fans, right? Even the girl I'm seeing right now, she's trying to understand baseball, so that's pretty good. But Like, they would love to go to baseball games, but for them it'd be like I'd be, doing a baseball game, and they were gamers too, but they weren't quite they didn't quite get it. I'm like, babe, look at this. But so and so is on the verge of a no-hitter. This is awesome. She's like, that's nice. And these were baseball fans. So maybe I'm just the idiot. Maybe I'm the minority here.
Well, no,
JT,
no,
what's your been experience, man?
you're not. You're not because I've heard that from a lot of people, and I brought it up on our channel a
Uh-huh.
few times because
Uh-huh.
I think that's kind of maybe how some of us perceive ourselves, or maybe we have spouses who aren't as supportive.
Well,
But I
because at
actually,
one time D&D wasn't cool, but the thing is
well,
they didn't
that's
play they
literally
but but they
that's
didn't play
actually
Strat and Appa on Big Bang Theory.
that's
That's the
actually
problem.
literally what I said on our last YouTube stream. That
Yeah,
I've never hidden my love for sports sims, but I
right.
have hidden my love for Dungeons and Dragons.
And that's funny,
Um,
and yet Dungeons and Dragons is so mainstream now. It's
but it
crazy.
wasn't when I was playing it in the
No,
early
no, it
80s.
wasn't what I was either. And if you
My
get
wife,
into like Warhammer, people like that's even stranger, right?
my
Because
wife
it
and
is.
I actually met. I mean, we had met before, but we sort of got together because a person who worked for us had tickets to a baseball game and invited her and invited me, and that's where we actually sort of connected
Oh, that's
without
great,
going into
man.
details. So our marriage has always been based on baseball, basically.
Gotcha.
Um, and actually, for our wedding, we had a baseball themed wedding where instead of having like rich fancy food, we had hot dogs and popcorn and
Oh, man, that's great.
yeah.
JT, you should be back and okay now.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm here.
Midlife answer. He says, "Well, consider that I was in a bathrobe waiting to get in the shower, and I was changing out the laundry when that happened. I was watching my phone with one hand and handling the laundry with." That's classic, man. That is classic. So, here we are. We can do this because I think the Hot Stove League has evolved into how can we fix baseball. So that's my question. We're like, and I'm not, and Mark, I get your to your point. Yeah, we don't want to get so olded out, but I'm maintaining, and not because I remember baseball from the '70s, but I've read a lot about baseball in the
How old are
'70s.
you?
Old enough to, well, actually, I knew Albert Goodwill Spalding. So my point
Well,
is this:
you're no, no.
is
I'm asking because you just said you don't remember baseball from the '70s.
no, I really, I'm more of a like '80s baseball kid.
So that means you're like more like 50
Yeah.
than 60.
Right, yeah. And
I'm 60.
and to add that, I've always actually, even as a little kid, for well, I know the reason why. I've always been into dead ball baseball first, and still am. That's because of my background in Magic, though, because there was lots of cheating in dead ball baseball, and I like that.
Tons.
So the Magic that I've done, I mean, I worked as a carny in my life. I was an actual real carny, and stuff like that. So I'm attracted to that kind of, yeah. If you can get away with it, and same with 19th century baseball. King Kelly is my hero because he had a great way to steal third. He just ran across the field and didn't even go to second. I love that shit. But
Right.
but I think there are things, if we could fix baseball. So JT and Mark and everybody in the chat, what would be ideal baseball for you? Because even though we're adapting to these again the whiplash changes that we've seen, are we necessarily happy with the changes? What would your ideal baseball universe look like if you were the commissioner and you were not the racist like Judge Landis, but you had the power of Judge Landis? What would you do to fix the game? Or, and this is for everybody, or are you happy with the game as it is?
Uh, I'll go first if you want.
Sure.
That's
The
fine.
one thing I don't like, um, and again, I feel, and this is true kind of across the board with sports,
Okay.
I feel like athletes are cheering themselves for too many things. They're cheering themselves for doing their job. A guy makes a tackle in a football game,
Mm-hmm.
even though and his team's losing 28-3,
Uh-huh.
and he's still like doing his no finger thing.
Right.
Like I feel like there should be some sort of tamping down of that stuff. But again, that could be old man me. I'm not sure. As far as the rules of baseball, I think ABS is a terrible idea. I
Okay.
think that it dilutes the purity of the humanity of the sport. I know it's going to come, and I know that a lot of people are going to like it because we all want GPT to tell us what to think.
Right. Oh God.
And so that is what's going to happen. But I think it's bad. I would like to see a salary cap in baseball. I think it's a little ridiculous that small market teams really can't compete.
I mean, they could if they shared their revenues.
What's that?
They could if they shared their revenues in baseball.
As opposed to a salary cap, or along with
if they shared TV revenues like they do in the NFL, of course.
That's true. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, there's no way to say, well, I think they should have to butt more. You know what I mean? Like,
right. You can't
really. Yeah. So really, it's more of a wish list of things than a practical guide, because the sport is where it is, right. And they figured out that it's all about home runs and strikeouts.
And as Dwayne March said, pitchers aren't pitching; they're throwing the ball, and I agree with him.
Absolutely,
and that is to the detriment of the sport, I think.
Yeah,
and very few people are actually pitching, and it's frustrating to watch.
Well, that's what I think makes Paul Skeens such a standout. He's a pitcher.
Right.
You know, he's not throwing the ball. So JT, you can change the game. What's your ideal?
I would roll back everything. I mean, I think the golden age of baseball was going on until 1993. I still think it could accommodate a guy like Shohei Ohtani or Aaron Judge.
Oh yeah.
Or Cal Raleigh.
When you say roll back everything, roll back what specifically?
Well, roll back the rules that have been instituted since 2020 for sure.
Let's take it. But hold on. Let's take it a rule at a time. Let's take it a rule at a time.
Okay. Well, the universal DH, I don't see any reason for that.
Okay.
I don't see any reason for the bases being the size they are. I don't see any reason why we should outlaw holding base runners on. I don't see any reason why.
Wait, you said outlaw holding?
Hey, Aaron.
Outlaw the pitchers aren't allowed to hold base runners on anymore. They're only limited to 2 throws to first.
No, okay, so
part of holding a guy on is throwing to first enough time to kind of tire that guy out.
No, but talk about the rule itself. So what you're saying is you don't like the idea that a pitcher can only throw over twice.
Right, that's just not being able to hold a runner on.
All right, but that's propaganda. The rule is you're not allowed to throw over more than twice.
Okay.
So you would like
to hold a runner properly, you need to throw the ball over at least twice.
Okay, but let's not talk about that part of it. Let's talk about the actual rule. So you're saying you don't want to be able to throw. You want to be able to throw over
that actual one. Yeah, I would. Okay. Yeah,
I completely agree with that. I would DH. So you would prefer no DH?
No, I would prefer DH only in the American League.
Why?
Because I liked it. I think it's a better game when two leagues are playing with different rules.
But isn't that more of a personal, like from a heart thing and a nostalgic thing than an actual logical thing?
No, I think it allowed for a richer overall product.
It did for you.
If you wanted to see a certain game, you could watch the American League, and if you wanted to see a different kind of game, you could watch the National League. I think it gives fans more options.
But that doesn't sound like a very practical reason.
I don't know. My feeling about it.
Yeah,
I think it enables teams to try to win in different ways, and you're not relying on more of a power game, or maybe you want to rely on more of pitching or smaller ball. Maybe
so
not.
In general, you prefer pitcher. Ball. In general, you prefer pitcher hitting than not hitting.
In one league, yeah, I would prefer the pitcher hitting for sure.
But if you
I just wanted the National League to stay the way it was.
But again, using logic again. If you like it in one league, then ideally you would like it in both leagues.
No. I think it's a different game, and I think that's fine to have a different game.
And it's more of a heartfelt, nostalgic choice.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think it allows for a richer overall product because you can watch.
It definitely adds strategy. It adds, the idea of the double switch.
You
Um,
have options as a fan. You can watch this kind of baseball or that kind of baseball. I think that's good for fans to have options like that. I don't think that they should all be shoved into one box or homogenize
but a lot of
the game
times fans are
completely.
limited by what city their league is in,
Well, but I mean, how many
or
people?
what league their city's in.
You know, I'm sure that there are people rooting for the Red Sox throughout the United States. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's a regional game at its heart, but I don't think it's as much of a regional game as it used to be. Because we have a connected world. You
Yeah.
can
Okay.
watch any game you want on MLB TV. You can
Well,
watch,
now sure.
you
Would
can watch
would
anything you
you
want. So you have options as a
would you
fan to
want to
say,
roll back? Would you want to roll back WLB network, the network, so that you actually can't watch any game that you want to?
no, I'm fine with MLB
Okay.
TV. I want fans to have access to as many games as they possibly can to watch. I
Okay.
think that's a joy as a fan. And you pay a little bit amount of money, but actually, I get MLB TV for free through my
How?
phone carrier.
Ah,
And I mean, it just
I got to change my
it
phone
gives
carrier.
It gives
Right.
you
Me too.
well. I mean, I'm not getting money for it, but T-Mobile gives you free MLB TV. In fact, I'm activating it tomorrow.
Wait, I have T-Mobile.
Yeah,
Well,
you
Mark, you
have that.
better look into that, man.
If
Jeez.
you go into T-Mobile Tuesdays, I think tomorrow is the day where
Oh, it's not going to be
they
tomorrow. It's going
unleash.
to be today
Because
that I do it.
I've been getting MLB TV free for the last several years.
Holy
Now
shit.
it's blocked out in my region, but I
Right,
have.
right,
That's why I
right,
have
right,
my cable. My cable
right,
plays the Dodger
right,
games
right, right.
and the Angel game. So
So
I'm
what
fine
else?
with that. But if I want to watch an out of market game, I can watch it anytime I want to. And so if you're a fan of the way that the American League play ball with the DH, you can watch them. I love fans having options just to be able to
Yeah.
watch whatever they want to watch. I'm all about the fans. I want the fans to enjoy the game. All right. And I'm not really completely opposed to the pitch clock. I just think that when you limit throws over to first base, it's it upsets the balance of the game, and I don't like the balance of the game to be upset. And you have bases the size. I mean, how many times? And also, I feel like it's slowing down the game to look at replays because it seems like every time there's a stolen base attempt, we got to look at a replay because the
True.
play is usually very very close.
Yeah.
And it's like we can't live with the umpire's call. No, he might have his foot might have come off a base like 1/8 of a millimeter, and so now we got to call him. And I just think that's silly. I think we're getting so rigid about and so into the minutia about each play as far as stolen bases are concerned
I
that
agree.
I think it adds time to the broadcast of a game. And one of the things that added time to a game is managers arguing with umpires, and I didn't have a problem with that. I actually thought that was kind of
Because it
cool.
was fun.
I just feel like there are things that are cool that today's fans are missing out on. And
Yeah.
I don't think it's just like, well, that's an old head take. I don't really believe so. I think
Oh,
I just feel like baseball was fixed, quote unquote, fixed in a number of ways that it didn't need to be
I
fixed.
don't think anything is
Yeah.
necessarily an old. Oh, I'm old, and but
Because
I do
I get
think
just like I said, I got just as excited at Raleigh hitting 60 home runs,
right, right.
and the performance from Yamamoto in the World Series. I mean that recalls Christy Mathewson in 1905, and I
I
just
just
like
think that we have.
what's old is
I
new again. I mean these guys are. I get just as excited about that as I would be for a World Series in the 80s or the
I
90s. I still
I
get
think what
excited
we have
for
to
it.
do is we have to
Right.
not have a knee jerk reaction to change, and we have to like sort of like take a step back, think about it, and really sort of decide for ourselves what we think makes sense, what we think doesn't make sense, based on logic, not
You
based
know
on.
what though?
I don't like
What
the
comes
fact
to
that
mind
change.
here is a an age old philosophical paradox. You guys familiar with Theseus' ship?
I am
So
No,
not.
okay, so here's the paradox, right? You have a ship, and then as you're repairing it a plank at a time, or what have you, maybe it's the mainmast or something on the quarterdeck. But this ship has gone through so many repairs and fixes that at the end of it, everything on that ship is new, but it's exactly looks
right.
exactly the same as the
I
original
have
ship.
heard this.
Is it the same ship? Yeah, it's Theseus paradox.
Yeah.
So that's when I look at baseball, and I think that's why I was talking about just how fast all of these changes have happened. Mark, I would just offer that, have we had time as fans to catch our breath, because now ABS is coming to the majors this year, and I find myself as a baseball fan hoping, of course, that the CBA doesn't, right, that expires in December. But I find myself thinking, okay, now what are they going to do next year? Holy hell!
I
So
think
just to call out from what Midlife is posting, I couldn't care less about interleague either. I'm not going to get excited for a matchup with the, I don't know, with the Royals or whatever. The Dodgers and Royals, it just doesn't do anything for me.
Right?
And also, one thing I actually kind of like that MLB did is limited mound visits. I think that should be a thing. I think that's fine. They limited them. I think
Yeah,
that sometimes there are too many. I don't like the three batter minimum though. I think that managers should be able to strategize.
yeah. Let
And
them,
I think
right,
a
exactly.
three batter minimum takes away the strategy. Again, there's
yeah,
always these things. The
I
universal
definitely agree with
DH
that.
that takes away
Yeah,
the strategy.
yeah,
Uh, the the idea of pitchers being limited and holding on runners, that takes away strategy. It's we outlawed the shift, that takes away strategy.
Yeah,
Again, like how many? I really love the strategy of the game, and I think that the game and the pace of it lends itself to strategy. Like, what would I do in this situation? What's a good What's a good option? Should I bring in this lefty here? Should I position this guy over closer to second base instead of over in the hole? It allows you to think in between pitches, not like hockey where everything's bang, 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 and you're at perpetual motion.
I think
Baseball
everything you're
lends
saying.
itself to introspection
I
and
think everything you're
strategizing.
saying is. I think everything you're saying is exactly right. But I think that you know what you have to consider is, and I agree, everything should be about how do you maintain the strategy of baseball. But when you then say, but I like the idea that there's a DH in one league and not a DH in the other, that kind of undermines your own argument because not having a DH leads to more strategy than having a DH. And there's
It's a
no
different
argument.
style of game, and I just don't, I just didn't
No,
want
it's
it to
not a
be
different side game.
universal.
It's less strategy.
Yeah, it's less strategy in the American
So
League.
that
Yeah,
means you're actually saying you're okay with less strategy in one league.
well, I think what
in
he's
that
saying,
case,
Mark,
yes.
is yeah, because I mean,
Right. I'm just trying to find some consistency
No,
in thought.
again, I mean, I like that the two leagues were different.
But
They even had
that's because that's
allegedly
what you
different
grew.
strike
But
zones
you like that
in
because
the
that's what you
American
grew
League.
up on.
It just was a different league. It was. I always kind of grew up with the American League being more of a power hitting league, and the National League being more of a
speed
little
league.
ball, stolen base, speed kind of
Yeah.
league.
But
And also, a lot of that
you
had to
also
do
grew up
with
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 you
the
also grew up with the
surfaces they
National
played
League
on.
winning all the All Star games.
Well, but I mean, they
What's that?
were they were a different brand of baseball, and so on this one, I mean, I get where JT's coming from, and I always liked that. And and I'll say this, Mark, and this is biased. As a National League fan, I always love the fact that in all of professional baseball, all over the world, the National League was unique, and that it didn't. And I knew the DH was coming; everybody knew it was coming. But at least for that, it was like, okay, we're still, and it is to that. To me, the DH, even though the idea was floated in 1902, and my favorite era of baseball, it wasn't adopted. But so to me, it is the tactics and strategy of, okay, I'm down by 1 run. My pitcher's keeping things close, right? What do I
Right.
do? And that's now I've heard the other side of the argument. Steve Tate has made this argument, that he has felt, and I wish he was here to talk about it, but he feels that actually the idea of, the having to pull your pitcher for a pinch hitter doesn't necessarily add any intrinsic strategic value to the game. And
Explain that why he felt that way.
it's been 3 years, and I can't
Oh,
speak
okay,
to what he exactly
okay.
said. So I
Because if
don't
the
want
two
I don't
leagues
want to
had to be the
misspeak
same,
myself.
yeah, if the two leagues had to be the same, I would say remove the DH completely.
Oh yeah, DH has got
I
to
I,
go.
guess
it's either the DH is in one league or in zero leagues,
Look, the
because
DH serves one purpose. It lengthens the career of guys that can't play in the field anymore. All
I
right,
suppose,
come on,
yeah.
it helped Dave Winfield, it helped Edgar
Hmm.
Martinez.
Hmm.
Look, I'm all about a guy making a buck, but
Right.
come on, that's your job to get up and hit, and everybody else is having to play the field. And
No, it gives
baseball
players more
is
options too. to
Well, you
have
got to
one league
throw
have
the
the
ball,
DH.
catch the ball, hit the ball. What does
Right.
and the DH only does 33% of what a baseball player is supposed to do.
I
That's why I
guess
don't like it.
I guess what I was saying is I love these conversations. I love these debates, but
Hmm.
I'm also the kind of person like, are we debating what we prefer because it makes us feel better, or are we debating what we
Well,
prefer based on logic?
what's the
How,
purpose of
well,
what's the purpose of watching baseball? To make yourself feel better, right?
Yeah,
I mean, does it make you feel good to watch baseball? It makes me feel good.
but we're also talking about logical reasons why we like or don't like
Oh, the
a
logical
certain
reasons I
rule change.
gave was that it gives more options for fans and for players. And you
yeah.
have two leagues that produce different they're contrasting styles of baseball, which I think any kind of endeavor with contrasting styles is going to be a good
But that
endeavor.
means that you want
And
more strategy. You know what? That's it's just getting into
I
like
think that
minutia.
it just means more strategy in the National League. That's
So
fine.
what I love about it is
If you're
you
more of
got
a
the Beatles and
strategic
the
fan,
Stones, baby. You
well,
got the Beatles and the Stones, two
No
very
debate.
different
No
bands.
debate. It's Beatles.
Of course, it's the Beatles, but you have two different bands, and there's going to be folks that are going to like, I want to go more this way, right?
Yeah,
So
but
for
in
me,
that case,
obviously,
they're just. But in that case, they're just wrong.
right, I want the innovative band. I mean, so you know who my band is. But I guess my point is that make a
Now,
very poor
if you want
analogy,
to do
but
Beatles
you have
versus
that
the
choice.
band,
Yeah, so you have the people who are gonna, and I have people they have yet to really defend it, but like, oh, Stones are better than the Beatles. And I'm like, go ahead, argue it, and then what? But the
you even
point
go
is, at
deeper than
least
that.
there's that
you
choice.
really
There's
can't
that
You can
by
go
choice.
any
deeper than
logical
that.
method.
You could say what about the Beatles in the beginning of their career as opposed to the 70s, the late 60s?
Well, shit,
They were different
the same.
music,
I mean, the same
different
band that
music,
wrote "I Want to Hold Your Hand" also wrote Eleanor Rigby 2 years
right?
later, and wrote "A Day in the Life" a year. So they changed so much,
Hmm.
but you
They
had that
evolved.
choice. So you had
Yeah.
that choice, and so for rock, and we're still having the debate. Stone. I don't know why we are, but Beatles
Hmm.
versus Stones, but we still do. And I do. I have to say so. Mark, you'd mentioned about logic and enjoying it. Maybe sometimes the two though can intersect. I think we can agree that there is nothing logical about the Ghost Runner, and I haven't met anybody that thinks it's cool. I mean,
Right.
you know, so in that point you
I
can
mean,
have an
paid
intersection
shills.
point.
I don't know anybody that thinks it's cool. I think the people that say it's cool on social media are paid to do it. I don't know anybody that likes it. I would love somebody to point to me, hey, this is a guy that really likes the Ghost Runners in baseball. I don't believe there anybody likes it. I think the commissioner wanted it done, and this is the same guy that said that the World Championship trophy was a piece of metal. And
Yeah,
but I'm an old head, and I'm yelling at a cloud because I don't like it. Okay, I mean, if you say so, but I don't know anybody who really likes it.
yeah. Well,
Just
yeah. I
because
mean,
it's new doesn't mean
yeah,
it's good. I just don't believe that it. Again, I mean, some of the things that very few things that baseball's come up with, like limited mound visits, are fine. But I
yeah,
think that when you have, I mean, I don't know. In Japan, they have 12 inning ties. I feel like if you haven't beaten a team after 12 innings, you don't
yeah.
deserve to win. I'm kind
But
of in
that
Oh, I
has to
didn't
agreement.
do
know
with
that.
I
well,
agree
Really?
with
that
that.
has to do with their transport network, but it just
Right.
happens to work. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great rule.
Hmm.
I mean, after 12 innings, if you haven't
You would
won, you don't
actually like
deserve to win.
you would like to see a game called
I
after
don't have.
12
I mean,
innings.
there's a law of diminishing returns even in baseball.
You would like to see a game called after 12 innings.
Absolutely. If it's tied, why
Oh
why
my God,
why
I could
blow
not
why
agree with
blow
you
out your
less.
whole why
So
blow out your whole pitching staff?
there's where you and I would diverge, JT. I want that game to, just
Absolutely.
as Earl Weaver said, one of the things that makes baseball great is that other team gets
Right.
its last up,
Definitely.
you know. So
I know.
that's where I would
I mean,
disagree.
but I mean, if I had to choose between Ghost Runners and playing games out until
Yeah, but no
Oh,
one said you
well,
had.
yeah.
But
eighty-seven
no one
thousand
said you
innings,
had to.
I would play the 87,000
But
innings.
no one
But
said you had
I
to.
just you
Yeah.
know, I just don't. I'm not a fan of blowing out your whole pitching staff in one game. But you know, it doesn't happen too often. You're not going to see too many 16, 17 inning games. So I don't know if the 12 inning tie would be a hard and fast rule, but I think it's just again at
To
some
me, that
point,
would
and
be
I mean,
ridiculous.
it's
So
just
To me,
I would take that.
that's
I would take
literally
that as an
not.
alternative to
That's
the
not
Ghost Runner.
baseball anymore.
well, here, D.
Well,
Smith brings in something here fresh to the discussion, guys. He says, I think in modern day baseball, in 5 to 6 innings is the room. for a starting pitcher, right? The quality starts bullshit. I'm sorry, it is. The strategy argument is not as strong. They're going to almost always pinch hit for the batter at that point. I mean, I get that.
It's
The
an analytical
strategy,
thing. It's an
yeah,
analytical thing because third time through the batting order, pitchers always struggle or almost always struggle. It's almost a universal thing with all pitchers. So they don't want them to go through the batting order a third time. That's why they get pulled so early today.
I
Back
don't
in the
know.
day, people didn't look at that as hard as they do now. Now it's a big deal.
So the thing that terrifies me is that this banana ball thing is a lot of people like it. It's nonsense, but people are playing. None of these guys can play Major League Baseball, but they're bringing this product out. But here's what I'm afraid of with all these changes, guys, is it's a 2 hour game. What's to stop Manfred and his thugs from imposing and making baseball a timed game in that way?
Nothing.
That would kill baseball. That would
The,
kill baseball.
the more that they would go toward, like, I think banana ball is fine, but as long as you place it in where it is, if you understand what it is, it's
Yeah.
entertainment. It's like pro wrestling. It's like, okay, it's there for show,
Right, but
but
they could do it
the,
to baseball,
well,
and then that
the closer MLB gets to banana ball is the farther I move away. I
yeah,
can promise you that.
yeah. So,
I don't want MLB to be banana ball, and I don't want banana ball to be MLB. I
well,
want them to
we,
be two
we, we
different
know
things.
that we know one route's not going to work. I'm sure all those guys play banana ball would love to be in the show, but they know, and that's
Banana
fine.
ball's fun. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's
It's
it's fun,
entertaining,
but here's what I'm
but you
afraid
got to
of,
put it
though.
in its place. You got to
Right,
understand that
but
that's a
is
show.
MLB right? But I think that some of MLB's changes. Okay, let's look at this. Speed up the game. I think it was a midlife crisis earlier was saying, yeah, here it was. He said, so it was about the time. Yeah, here we go. Studies have shown that games are generally longer by innings than before the Ghost Runner. Time wise, the Ghost Runner does not speed up the game, and we know that, right? So, but it seems like, and this is no offense to the other three major sports, but it almost seems that Rob Manfred, who I am convinced is not a baseball fan, is trying to make baseball more like the other three major sports. When baseball baseball's not a television game to me. I mean, I watch it on television, of course, but baseball really is best experienced either listening to it or going to a game, right? Because the field's too big. You cameras can't, football is a TV sport, right? Didn't it really start getting big when everybody had TVs after World War II and in the 50s?
Well, not World
Football.
War II, no.
Well,
It
1950s, wasn't it? Started really getting big
um,
because circuses were going out of
well,
business,
hold
carnivals,
on.
magic shows,
I'll
right?
answer the question.
All right.
Um, so football, the first big football game was the Colts Giants game in '58.
Okay.
That's what kind of put the NFL on the map. Before that, and actually going back, college football was much bigger than pro football.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Um, and then television in the '60s
60s.
sort of
Okay.
sort of brought, as TV developed, kind of brought pro football into the mainstream. Monday Night Football helped and all that stuff, but
Right. Yeah.
baseball was always the premier sport. And I agree that, to me, there's nothing more beautiful than baseball on the radio.
Oh, it's awesome.
But to dismiss baseball on TV, I'm not sure that I agree with that either.
Okay. Fair
Um,
enough. Again, no wrong answers here, brother. No wrong
Well, the
answers,
whole
man.
reason for the pitch clock was so that baseball games could fit in a window of time on TV that's profitable. It wasn't
If
because the fans
yeah.
wanted it. Maybe some fans did want it, but that was the reason why Major
I've
League
been
Baseball.
watching baseball
They
for
want to
50
ensure
years,
that
and I love it.
baseball games fit into a block of time that's profitable. That's why they
No,
did it.
that's kind of cynical. I
I
think
mean, it's
that
true though.
no, it's not completely.
Is it? Okay, well,
It's also because people didn't like watching pitchers touch their crotch for 20 seconds before they threw a
I don't know.
pitch.
That sounds to me pretty cynical. I don't know how many pitchers did that. Maybe
Oh,
three or four.
every one of them.
I don't know. I just
Well,
because everybody brings up
I don't
Nomar.
want to know where Gaylord Perry hit the Vagisil. We'll put it that way.
I was going to say,
Anyway.
as a guy who practices sleight of hand magic, I'm sure you would love Gaylord Perry. Like
There was
Yeah,
that
I
was his
just
whole
don't want to know
game.
where it's concealed. But yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but
there was a
I've been
lot
Yeah.
there
I
was
mean,
a lack of focus before, and there was unnecessary time being taken. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I love base. I love sitting in a baseball stadium
Oh
quietly
yeah.
with my friends. I'll
Yeah.
stay there, or by my. I go to games by myself all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes I prefer that.
Hmm.
I can think, I can react. It's languid, it's
Yeah.
pastoral.
And
It's
then all hell breaks loose. Too. That's the
yeah,
beauty of baseball, right?
yeah,
It's gonna catch all of a sudden. It's like
yeah.
it's fucking chaos out here, and we love it. You know? Yeah.
well, I mean, I feel like people who want the pitch clock, they want that NBA shot clock or whatever in Major League Baseball. They talk about, well, Nomar Garciaparra. That guy retired over a decade ago. Like, who did that? Who was doing that after he retired? Like, how many guys are just sitting there?
But
Oh,
I
they're
mean,
playing with. Like, I just don't believe that many guys to the point where say, oh, damn it, we need to have express baseball. And I don't really think we do. I don't think there were that many guys who took that much time that we had to go express round baseball. I just don't see it. I don't see where the need
but
was.
yet, there's overwhelming support for it. I mean, look it up, and it has shortened games.
Okay, so it's shortened games. What does that mean though? Is that better
It
or
means that
worse?
young kids can watch games. Families can go to games, and they can get home in time to put their kids to bed because it's shortened games by like a half an hour, and that half an hour when you have kids at that age can make a big difference.
So
They
Mark,
start a game at
what
6,
was
so it ends at 9. I don't know, like nine's a little too
John,
late.
why don't you just look at the numbers, man?
well?
The,
Here's
nu-
my
what,
well.
what
Here's my
numbers are you talking
question.
about? Game times?
So here's my question. Though, what was the
and
average length?
and approval ratings. People like it.
So
Approval.
what was the average
Okay,
length
all
of a
right.
game in the 1970s?
Oh, about 230 to 245,
Probably
somewhere in
shorter,
that
yeah.
neighborhood.
Probably shorter, yeah.
The reason why games got longer is commercial breaks got longer. That's what happened. But they can't roll those back. They've got to
Well, you've
they've
got to
got to
pay
have the
these.
players go through express mode
Well, it's
because we
those
can't
right.
we can't
It's that revenue
we
that
need that ad
allows.
time, right?
Well,
So
how
so
else are you
why
going to
wouldn't
pay
you say
people $300
why
million
wouldn't you say
dollars a
that they
year?
would invent
Yeah,
the pitch clock to not maximize revenue for TV? I mean, that's exactly what the owners want. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know, man. I'm not saying everybody says, well, look at the attendance. It's right where it was in 2019 before COVID. And before COVID, there wasn't a pitch clock. So I don't know, man. I mean, people could
Yeah,
say what they want. It's fine. But
yeah, yeah.
I don't see the evidence saying that it's better for baseball. I don't see that. Or that
But
people
it
like
seems
it
like you're
more.
not. It seems like you're not looking for it.
I don't know. I look forward in the attendance figures and the ratings, and they haven't gone up since, I mean, when they're compared with 2018, 2019, they haven't gone up. Everything went down because of COVID, and now
But
because
the
it's
pitch
recovering
count.
from that, people are saying, "Oh, that's because of the pitch clock." And I'm like, no, it's because we didn't have COVID anymore. But it's fine. I mean, I get that a lot of people like it. It's fine.
Yeah,
You know, I just
yeah.
I don't I don't remember going to a game and said, "Wow, I hope this thing ends soon." Like
I
I want
agree.
to make
I
sure
mean,
that
look.
this game, more than anything, I need this game to end as soon as possible. I've never gone to a game with that or watched a
Oh my
game on
God,
TV
I'll
with
go and watch
that kind of
36 innings of
mentality.
baseball.
I
I
mean,
don't. I
I've
mean, I'm
never
there to
I've never
watch
done that.
baseball. I'm there
to
to
I'm saying
be
I'll
watch
be here all
clear,
baseball.
night. I'll be here all
Yeah,
night.
to
yeah.
be clear, if they hadn't added a pitch clock count, a pitch clock, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I don't think the fact that they did add one like weakens the sport in any way.
I'm not. And so that was the
Okay.
rule that I had to adapt to. So really was against the pitch clock at first, but I first encountered it at seeing a minor league game and watching the game, and I'm like, okay, I'm all right with this. I have to tell you guys though, that's the only innovation I'm fine with.
Right.
Everything else.
That's kind of how I.
So my ideal baseball universe is roll back all the other bullshit and no ABS, no
Right.
ABS.
I agree. No ABS, no Ghost Runner. I guess they made the the bags bigger because of they wanted more steals, right?
I know, but people stole all the time in the 1970s, and they were right? The bases weren't bigger, so
They're
that's
Yeah,
phased out
stupid,
because of
right?
analytics.
So
It's
so
right.
it's not
so
the
they
game
make the
that analytics
bases bigger,
dictates anymore.
and the
It was an
pitcher could throw over the first.
analytics thing. Yeah.
So
So
now
imagine how
MLB is
many.
trying to force feed steals. That's why
Right.
Right.
So how
and
many
they make
stolen
illegal hold
bases?
runners on. That's all
Right.
part of it.
How
Right.
many stolen bases does Ricky Henderson have? Let's say he was coming up now. I mean, obviously, may his memory be eternal, but you get it. A Ricky Henderson style player. Ricky Henderson, man, great base stealer, right? We know that. But you faint a couple times and you're going to throw that pitcher off. But then he knows that the only thing that can come for him is a pitch out, and there's a higher percentage of an error on a pitch out than a pickoff, right? So
I
it's like, look, people were stealing in the 70s and 80s. What are you trying to fix? So you
So
want more
it's still
steals?
150. If there
How can a
maybe
sport?
170,
Well, here's the
he would
thing.
steal a ton of bases
How can a sport with such a rich history not recognize its own history? That
because
befuddles
that
me.
doesn't matter to it doesn't matter to
Well, if you
a
want to
lot of the
increase
owners and
steals,
fans
just
today.
if you want to increase steals, you want batters to bunt. You know what? Okay, it's going to be a paradigm shift, but I mean, I guess I would hold. I think a lot of us are talking about, and I don't think look again. And to your point, Mark, yes, I am excited about opening day. I can't wait, even with all the changes, even with ABS coming. God help us, right? I still love baseball. I always will love baseball, but if you're looking to quote unquote speed up the games, I you know look, people are going to watch, people who love baseball are going to watch it. They're going to love it for what it is. And I know you want to bring new players into the game, but for me, it's not so much the get off my lawn as I think that these are just, there's never been a sound reason, except for the pitch clock.
I
I
think you
can
should
get
read some
that.
of the comments. D. Smith says, "I'm one that likes the clock.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
rarely go to a game, so it's all about viewing for me. And I
Uh huh.
love the pitch clock. Three and a
Yeah.
half hours versus less than 3 hours makes a difference to my enjoyment."
And I
Um,
totally get that. And
It
that,
doesn't make a
so,
difference to me.
so,
hold
so,
Not
on.
at
so I,
all.
I see the logic in that. I do.
Can I read another one?
Oh, of
Because
course,
I mean,
man.
I like baseball. I
this
don't
is
like to see
midlife
baseball
crisis
ending.
responding to John. I guess John at some point said that he'll stay all night to watch a game.
Oh, I would.
Midlife crisis said you'll stay all night unless it's a 12 inning tie. Which
I don't mind the games going on after 12 innings. I said if it was a choice between Ghost Runners and games going on more than 12 innings, I would pick more than 12 innings. All right.
Yeah.
But people are talking about, hey, the game got to end by this time, man. Like I don't want to be around the game 3.5, 4 hours. So it goes hand in hand. I'm trying to work with the people that say, look, man, I'm concerned about how long that baseball game's going on. I'm not one of those people, but I guess there seems to be a lot of them.
Yeah.
I've
And I know,
never once thought about game times when I
but
watch a
that's
game.
the
I've
easiest
never
one. That's
once
the one
like
that I'm fine with. But it's the other
I don't.
ones. Give what so if the premise is, and I don't want to keep anybody too much longer, but I just want to ask this last thing. If
Mhm.
if if the whole if they're proceeding from the premise that we want to speed the game up, and let's take the pitch clock out, because the pitch clock, I'm fine with it. I don't want a pitcher to wait more than 25 damn seconds on the mound either. I liked it. But watching
put
also
the
the,
rosin
the,
bag down.
but where's the where but what's the premise for limiting pickoffs? Oh, that makes the game longer. But then you look over here, right? Midlife telling us Chris Welsh once threw over 17 times, and Vince Coleman stole second on the next pitch. That's fundamental baseball. You're gonna wait.
Yes,
You
I
know
agree.
that, right? So if you've gotten rid of that, again, we all hate the Ghost Runner, so we don't really even have to talk about that one. But it just seems that, like, if your premise is we want to speed the game up, it seems that except for the pitch clock, all these so-called innovations have had the opposite effect. So are we looking at the wrong thing while we're creating a debate about the pitch clock, which really isn't as strong a debate as limiting pickoffs? Because yeah, I would never say. I mean, 17, and if that happened, you're right, that did happen. Obviously, that's fine,
You
but
should be
that's
allowed.
not.
You should
That
be
wasn't
allowed to
normal.
go over 30 times
Well,
if
that
you want.
wasn't right. That wasn't normal, right? To throw over 17 times,
But you
right?
But,
should be
but,
allowed to.
but
But
again,
you
what
Yes,
I'm
you
saying
should be
is
allowed to. Yes,
what I'm saying
yes.
it's not normal for pitchers to wait 25 seconds before throwing the ball. or batters to
Well, it's
wait
not.
25 seconds before getting in the box. Okay,
But it was.
there are the rare occasions, there are the outliers, but is that
Yeah.
what we're going for? We're trying to remove the outliers, and then in trying to remove them, it's like cutting off your nose to spite your face.
But I think
I
that's
don't
where
know. For
you're
me,
wrong. I
it's
think,
not it wasn't happening
but
enough for that to kind of
I think
be an
that
outlaw.
I think that's where you're wrong. I think
Okay,
that
well,
pitchers were taking unnecessarily long time between pitches, and batters were taking unnecessarily long time. So now it's like saying, okay, get it, shit, or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Basically, you pitch,
I mean,
you hit.
okay.
Stop playing the
I guess I
game.
never noticed it that much. It never bothered me
I
that
did.
much.
I did.
But I guess it bothered a lot of people.
Yeah. And I
I
mean,
don't know,
so
man.
so I mean, we have it, but it's just
I
these other
mean,
things. D. Smith's talking about here, and I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't see any disagreement among anybody for this one, right? It's garbage. The limited pickoff attempts,
Yes,
major
I agree.
limitation to
Of course,
strategy and advantage to the base runner. It's
because
yeah.
you're changing the strategy of the actual game.
Yes. Yeah. Where the pitch clock doesn't change the strategy
Right.
of the game.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
thing that you do with the pitch clock. One of the things that, and I'm glad Midlife brought this up. Mario only threw over 3 times, but he held the ball on Dave Roberts. He held it. He held it. He held it. That's part of strategy. But now it's like, oh man, shit or get off the pot, dude. Okay, but you don't understand what's taking place. All right, he's trying to
You
mess with
found
the
one
timing of
example in
the base.
150 years,
You
man.
know, I
What's
just
that?
feel
What's that,
like
Mark?
it's
I said he found one example in 150 years where the pitch clock, wouldn't have been good because Mariano couldn't have thrown over
a
three.
lot of pitchers held the ball on runners. That's
Yeah,
a
but
strategy.
holding runners for 20 years, it's boring. Throw the
Okay, well,
fucking pitch.
all right. I just don't think baseball's boring, man. I think that there's strategy in
Oh
it.
no, it's
I
not.
I I paid it. I paid attention to it. I mean that whole sequence where Roberts was on first base. The world knows he's going. And obviously Mariano being one of the people in the world, he knew he was going too. I'm like, I'm going to hold the ball.
Oh, I'm
I'm
not
going to
saying he
throw
should be
over.
allowed,
I'm going to mess with his timing. And
but
that's
I'm
a
not
rare
saying.
thing. It's not like guys do that all the time.
But
But
I
in this
agree
case,
he should.
with the moment,
All right, John. All right.
what was happening.
But I agree that Mariano should be allowed to throw over 3 times, 10 times, 30 times.
Okay.
That doesn't change the pitch clock, though.
Right.
But I just don't. I think he should be able to hold the ball as long as he feels like he needs to.
For 2 hours?
If okay, I mean, if that's what we're gonna do, is that? I mean,
Well, yes.
I look. I'm not
It's
exaggerating
called
saying guys
logic.
have to run back and forth
It's
to the
called
plate and swing and
logic.
run back into the dugout. I'm
Well, but
saying
let's
this
look
is
at
a
what.
rare situation where he might take a little bit longer to pitch
So here's a
than
strong point
most
for
guys
midlife,
would
though.
take.
So he's saying
So
here some
why?
pitchers don't have a good
So
move.
let me ask you this:
Mixing up their delivery
Why
time is their strategy.
shouldn't an NFL huddle be allowed to call a play for 2 hours?
Different game.
Again, I mean that's the
Timed game.
NFL. It's a different game. It lends itself to clocks.
Yeah.
So you
I mean,
think
baseball's supposed to be the game without a clock, but
All
yet we
right,
gotta
fair
have a
enough.
clock.
All right,
And I think that's kind of
Yeah.
weird.
fair point. Fair point.
But it kind of goes against the whole foundation of what baseball was about. Like it's a game without a
All
clock.
right. So
You
let's
gotta
have a
have one
pitcher.
because
Let's have a
these other
pitcher
sports
just
have one.
wander
We need to have one
around.
for baseball, I guess.
Let's
I don't
just
know.
have Mark. Let's just have Mark Fidrich out there making bird sounds. And let him do it for a half an hour.
Well, I
Yeah,
miss.
good.
You know what though? I miss the characters in the game, Mark. We don't have any anymore. We don't. We have great players,
Uh,
but nobody's really. It's not
The press
baseball. I
today would
love
be
it.
brutal with Mark Fidrich. They would kill
Yeah.
him.
Oh my God.
But I
Um,
mean,
You the nail that sticks out has
okay,
to be
guys.
hammered down.
Who were the other characters in the '70s besides Mark Fidrich?
Oh my
gosh.
God. How
Joe
about
Charbonneau. I think
Bill
Charbonneau was
Lee?
1980.
He was.
Bill,
The Spaceman? Let's not forget the
Oscar
Lee.
Gamble
Spaceman.
was a character.
So
Uh,
70s, 80s.
There's a lot of guys.
A
The
character.
managers were
A
characters.
character
My
in
God.
what way? In what way was
So-
Oscar Gamble a character besides big
No,
hair?
no, 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 no.
With the
So-
things that he
so-
said and the way that he looked. I mean, he
So
said
it's-
that
No.
it's just
What
it's
did
just
he-
a different
What
kind of
did he
game.
do on the field to slow down the game?
No, I'm not.
Well, I
So
don't
I'm
think
sorry.
he slowed down the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I shifted gears away from the the game
Mark
pace. I was
Mark
just saying
Fidrich
that.
pitched like he was on the meter, like he was
I
double
remember
parked.
watching Mark Fidrich pitch very well. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he pitched like he was on the clock. That he was on. He had an inner clock in
Hey,
his
Larry,
mind.
welcome in. And
You
Crusader,
know,
welcome in, man. He says, so Crusader says, is this showing up here for you guys? Yeah. So keep in mind back then that the Yankees were also notorious for their batters taking their sweet time stepping in and out of the batter's box between
That's
pitches.
true. That's true.
okay.
So, I mean, the beautiful thing about this, and I just to put this all together, I want to thank you guys and everybody in the chat because we may not agree with everything, but what's really cool about it
It was
is
definitely a good
to
broadcast.
good. Well, that's thanks to you guys. What I also wanted to say thank you for, yeah, characters in Oakland, yeah, the Oakland A's, is that
The
it
owner
shows
was the
how
character.
much we love baseball to be
Yes.
able to have a good spirited
Yes.
discussion,
I
and
agree.
that to me bodes well for this beautiful game. It really, really does, and it's guys like you, this entire community that make it work. And at the end of the day, the baseball sims that we play, we can create that ideal universe, and I do
Right.
love that. So while I could be pissed off at Rob Manfred, I can say, okay, but I've got a 1971 project going now, and none of
You're
that
right.
bullshit's happening. So
You're
it's all
right.
good. Any word on the documentary yet, as far as like when it's coming out,
Well, I
Mark?
mean,
Or
when it's coming out, oh my God, we're so not there.
oh
Um,
no, that's cool. You don't want to rush things. I get it. Is
no,
it
I
the
mean,
12th inning yet?
at
I'm
this
teasing.
point, it's about building buzz for it. I mean, we have gotten
Good,
support from John Herson from APA and
wonderful.
Dave Cook from Action. I mean, everyone who's heard about the project is enthusiastic about the project.
That's
So
good to hear.
what we're doing right now is, by using box scores from the basement to sort of build, the presence of the documentary and to play some games and to kind of show, sort of, or talk about what we want to do. I mean, eventually there'll be a fundraising campaign that we'll launch, and then we'll see how supportive the community will be and how supportive sponsors might be, and we'll take it from there. But we're still in such the very early stages of this. How come I can't hear anybody?
I'm here.
Uh,
Uh
Beatles?
oh. Okay.
I think we Beatles said one sec place.
Okay.
Who is there, John? JT?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, good. I think it
Um,
might just be you and me for now.
midlife isn't the 12th inning yet. He's never gonna let me live down the 12th inning. That's fine. That's okay. If I went to a 12 inning, I would be happy. I watched 12 innings of baseball. It's not. I mean, yeah, I'd like.
All right,
I think
I'm
you
back,
get
guys.
too
So,
on who's winning and who's losing.
what?
I
Can
don't
you
know.
guys
I
hear
mean,
me?
I saw a great game. I don't know.
Maybe not.
It's a different kind of mindset, I guess.
Can you
Beatles?
guys hear me at all?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm sorry. So what happened is one of my cats was playing with one of the cords and boop, there went the mic.
Oh,
We're back. Um, but this has been fun, and I really, really want to thank you guys. This was
those
It,
cats.
just
it was a
amazing.
lot of fun.
I just love the passion that everybody has about the game. We don't have to agree at the end of the day,
No,
but
we don't. Of course not.
it's just we love this game, and
When
I'm
even the
really
cats are
excited.
tired of hearing you talk baseball, that's a problem.
Well,
I mean,
it is
in
what it is.
in any good relationship, you disagree, but you still love.
Amen, brother.
Oh,
I
I
just
love
want to put out a
baseball.
quick
I'll
word
never
here for
not love
Larry.
baseball. It's too ingrained in me.
So, guys,
No, I love it. It's a
I
part of
think
me.
he's taking some into consideration. Hopefully, because he had asked some advice from me about live broadcasting. I said you should really go
Oh,
do live broadcasting. So,
everybody
guys,
kind of drifted out again.
yeah. I'm not here anymore. No, I should still be.
No, you're
Uh,
there, but you
I
definitely sound like the 1960s transistor radio.
Oh, cool. All right, we'll have to close this down in a minute. So, just if you guys can hear me, please subscribe to Larry's channel and let's encourage him to do some live broadcasts and create a community. It's a
Uh-oh.
good time. All right? Is
Good
that
night,
it?
guys.
All right. Good night, everybody. See
All
you
right.
around the stage.
Take care, Beatles. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, thank you,
Take
guys.
care,
All right.
Doug.
All right.
Take care, Mark. Take care, guys. All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.